the Spider Noir trailer, they've been copywriting everybody.
Well, I don't know why, man. They need to they need to
Yeah, it's like,
fucking let people talk about it because no one's gonna watch that garbage, dude.
dude, like, well, if people aren't gonna talk about it, then people won't watch it. I think it looks interesting for me. Like, I really want to watch it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the concept of them doing that, like maybe doing like Shattered Dimensions or doing something like Web Warriors or something, like
Well,
it's cool. But
like
Nicolas Cage, bro, like,
dude, I love Nicolas Cage, dude.
but we like him for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, well, he's done good stuff. I like him for all the wrong and the right reasons.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
That's fucking funny.
like, I'm a fanboy over this fool, man. I'll watch him do anything.
Yeah, you're the Pedro Pascal character in that fucking movie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh god, that movie's crazy, dude. That movie's nuts. What's up? What's up? Welcome back. It's Sunday night. You're here with the Average Boys Podcast. It's your boy Crispy, and I am here with my friend, the last Relic. Relic, what is up, my dude?
We chilling, we vibing, man.
We vibing already, man. We already started, man. Wait. So, comic, what is it? Spider Noir. First attempt.
Yeah.
I do like it. I think this is like a test run, right? And what do I mean by that? I think they're going to test the waters to see if they can pull off taking the animated series to live action, because again, I keep telling people it's very difficult. You're going to have Secret Wars and you're not going to have a Miles Morales. That means they're going to probably switch out that character for Kamala Khan, which I'm not really excited for, because that's pretty much the same character written out in two different aspects, right?
Yeah.
They were both during, I don't want to call it like the wokeism of Marvel or whatever, right? I just want to call it like them trying to not be as racist as they've been over the fucking past several years, right? And I don't mean racist.
What do you mean they were being racist before?
No, I just mean, I wouldn't say racist, right? We can consider moments in time back in the day as racist now, but during that time frame in American history or world history, human history, it wasn't considered racism. So it's like you go back to like Shang-Chi, you go back to like the Fu Manchu, you go back to the Mandarin, you go back to all these characters that are like tropes, right?
Yeah, but it's like tropes are not inherently, like, they come from somewhere.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Like, stereotypes are somewhat earned in a way.
Yeah, of course.
Now, it's different if they, like, okay, let's say the Fu Manchu of Shang-Chi, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's probably not what they were going for, racist back in the day, but
of course,
I would say it's not racist. I would only say it could be racist if somebody created Fu Manchu today by
in the same
with
standard.
the intention of being racist and like even having a standard of like only playing old school stereotypes, which either have been debunked or, you know, like for instance, satire usually. You can have racist jokes, but it's not racist. It's satire.
Well, I mean, the reason why I say it like that is you look at like back in the day, like in the 70s, 60s, even, of course, all those times, you would have actors like, you remember the Rat Pack, right?
Yeah.
Jerry Lee Lewis played in one film, I can't remember off the top of my head, he played an Asian guy. And he's not Asian. But the reason why they did that is because Hollywood executives at the time didn't have faith in people of that culture coming in and being able to do what the actors that they wanted them to do during that time frame in American film history. Is it racist? I mean, if I was to approach it now with the same format as what we believe in it, yeah, it seems pretty fucking racist. But like,
well, yeah, that's Asian face, right? Like, yeah, and it's like, okay, what was the intent? Like, intention is super important. The intent is really important. Like, let's say they didn't have the budget, or like nobody knew about the film, and literally no Asians auditioned. Like, there's the whole the best man for the job,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
Which that's the conversation we have now. Like, why are these people being race swapped? Like Harry Potter. Why is Snape race swapped? You
Snape
can't
race.
tell me that guy is the best man for the job when you've never even reached out to people like Adam Driver, who
It's
literally
well,
is
technically he's
yeah.
not because the role had already been fulfilled.
The what?
The role had already been fulfilled. His popularity and their desire to want to do that to the character is already based on a character that was hyper popular, hyper popular.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
for them to take this character, they're only using the name of the character to build the intention of race swapping the character. It's almost like the Captain America with
well,
Steve Rogers to
uh,
what is it the Captain Falcon guy, Sam Wilson, right? Like Sam
uh-huh.
Wilson, original great character, black character, Then they race swapped him to Captain America because they weren't going to make a comic book based on Captain Falcon because it wasn't selling like Captain America. So when they
Well,
gave him the
it
shield, they just
wasn't that it wasn't selling. It's just that they had no faith in an original black character. Like
well, I mean, let's
Marvel Comics and the
but that's
films.
semantics too because it's not based on face. These guys work on analytics, and they know Falcon doesn't sell as good
Yeah,
as the
but
Captain
like
America.
Blade sold, Black Panther sold. It's just
Blade.
it's not based off the race
No, of course not.
when
It's good
because
storytelling.
when Falcon got the shield, it was one of the worst comics of having him as Captain America, to the
Yeah.
point where they had to eventually give the shield to Bucky, and even people were pissed about that. But then, because
Uh,
of how they wrote it, like people were okay with it
right now we're
because
talking
yeah.
about. Oh, someone's asking in the comment section. Sander, good to see you, man. Talking about Miles Morales and Kamala Khan, their generation of comic books at the time, and how certain characters are needed for the Doomsday Secret War storyline to be successful, closest to the comic book line, and who we think they're going to
Mhm.
substitute, right? And the reason why we're talking about this part is because we're just
It's what
bringing
Marvel's
up,
been doing in phases
yeah, and
4 and
this
5
past years, right? In the past
for sure.
years,
Yeah.
and we're just trying to find the reason for the justification. Because again, I always do pretty solid on just throwing a dart and hitting the wall on what I think it's going to go. And if we don't get a Miles Morales, it's going to be Kamala Khan. Like that's just
Mm.
what it is. That's going to be what Owen Reese, but it's not going to be Owen Reese. It's going to be someone else, which is going to be like I don't know. I don't even want to say this because I don't even want to speak.
You're talking about Secret Wars, right?
Yeah.
Not
Do you
Doomsday.
remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember when it was Spider-Man and Miles Morales? They walk into the hot white room, and what's his face? Owen Reese is there, Molecule Man.
Yeah, yeah,
Gives him
yeah.
the cheeseburger and all that other stuff. Then
Yeah.
that is a huge move because the writers did that because of Miles's popularity, because of Spider-Verse, the films, raising up his numbers and his popularity and his search, that they were like, fuck, dude, what are we gonna do? Like, how do we keep we're consolidating 616 in the Ultimate Universe, and Miles has to stay. But he's not part of the regular universe. He's a part of the 616 or the
Well, that's why
Ultimates.
there's the possibility of an insurgence
Yeah,
where
no,
like
it
two
is.
universes
But
combined.
but that was the cheeseburger write-off. I don't know if you ever knew that in the
No,
cheeseburger
yeah,
write-off. Right?
yeah. I know.
So that was
I
his
know it's
thing
like
is
the laziest, like
yeah,
trying to
cop
do it.
over to
Like,
get him over.
yeah, yeah.
Bro, you gave
Let's
me a
throw a
cheeseburger.
cheeseburger
Yeah,
in
I'll
there,
save
man.
your mom, your dad, and make you a 616 person. You're the only thing in
Yeah,
existence that's gonna
yeah.
do this. Um, yeah, but that was the way that they brought Miles in. But again, the Nicolas Cage film for Spider Noir gives them the opportunity to see if the voice actor or someone close to them could at least play a live action and it work and not look silly.
Well, here's the thing. I personally want Spider Noir to be its own thing. Then that's it. Like maybe 2 3 seasons, and we get a detective Spider-Man of the 50s, whatever. I want it to be just that.
Run and done.
Obviously, knowing Sony and Marvel, and Disney, there, if it's even like, let's say, if it's not popular, then we might just get it just that. If it's popular, then yeah, it's gonna be mixed in the universe. Now, Doomsday, and we'll go back to the race swap and stuff because I
Yeah.
think it is an important conversation to have. Doomsday. is going to have an insurgence. It's going to be the first one. Like we already got
It has to.
anything but almost confirming um that Tobey Maguire, like Disney hasn't come out and confirmed it, but Tobey Maguire and the X-Men are going to be in the first 20 minutes. They're going to die, and but then they're going to bring him back to life towards the end of the film, or possibly in another film. And so that they could combine at least the Fox X-Men into the
Yeah, they need to bring
new
it in,
MCU.
consolidate it into the 616, right, or something
Yeah,
like that.
and the rumor is that they are trying to reboot the entire MCU.
They have to. I mean, yeah, dude, the actors, the first
Mhm.
10 are they're already like none of them really want to come back except the ones that are like scared not to have
No,
work.
look, none of them want to come back because they think that everything was a success. They think that the stories, like, they're not comic book fans.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
they're not really
There's so
looking into
many
it too much.
there's so many comics to adapt, so many things that they could do and add new characters. Like I was talking on my live stream the other day where even TV shows took chances on characters they made just for the TV show. And it's usually was DC, it wasn't Marvel. So Marvel did Jubilee, you know,
Yeah.
Mr. Miss Fireworks bullcrap, Kate, like try to get the youngins to
But
be
she
hip.
was hyper popular in the 90s, man.
She was popular for the show for two kids, but like people that read X-Men comics and they're already older back
Yeah,
then,
they
they were
turned her
just
into
like,
a
the
fucking
freak is
vampire and they
this?
did all this stupid
Yeah.
shit. I was like, oh man, dude.
Yeah,
This
but
is the
like,
part that this is the part that always etches me is there are initial actions to all these characters that are pretty good, and then all of a sudden, like some
yeah, the,
stupid
like
fucking
they're
writer
able
has
to
to do some
take it
stupid
somewhere.
shit. Yeah.
Like if you watched, I was surprised that I liked the new X-Men 97 that
Oh
they
yeah.
came out with like a year or two ago, 2 years
Mhm.
ago, which sucks that we still haven't gotten a second season because I thought that first season was
It was
pretty
pretty good.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I did care about Jubilee. I kind of didn't at some points, but I was like, okay, there's some character development there. But I pointed out Smallville and the Batman animated series. Batman animated series made Harley Quinn just
Yeah.
for that show. And yes, she's been overutilized, she's been overhyped. She is a completely overrated character. She's supposed to fit in a box, and she doesn't work without the Joker, and that's just the truth. She just
Yeah.
doesn't. And then Smallville, Lionel Luthor, like
Yeah.
Lex Luthor's father, dude. That it was surprising on how not only the
Good it
actor
was.
himself, but how good that character was, and like the evil and conniving and manipulative way he was. That also amplified Lex to be even more evil and
Yeah.
conniving later on. Um, Marvel had made massive opportunities to put their money where their mouth is. We're like, we want original black characters. Well, they haven't done one original black character other than Black Panther, and everything else was a race swap or a gender swap. Like,
Yeah.
I fully believe Disney is of the mind that like they're like actually racist. They're like, well, we don't think a black character, an original black character, can carry their own property or movie, so we're going to just give them sloppy seconds from these white
From
characters. Like
these other characters
yeah, like
that have some foothold in the door with the community,
yeah,
right?
like I was listening to a podcast, Spoiler Kings. They're really good podcast. I don't agree with everything they say, but I really like them. They're solid dudes. One of them pointed out that he wasn't a Wonder Man fan, so he doesn't care that there's a race swap and it's okay with him. And I am to the opinion like even if I'm not the fan, whoever was the fan made sure that these comics stayed alive. They spent their hard-earned money, so they deserve to be respected. Like if I
Yeah.
was the only Iron Man fan in the world, but I spent so much money to keep Iron Man alive, and then they immediately adapted to a film and they put a black dude in there because like
Proper
they just
representation because there's not enough
proper
representation.
representation.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not proper. It's
Like
because there's not
yeah.
enough representation.
And
That's
that's
what,
their choice. It's they're not diving into the comics. Like they didn't even put the character in. I forget his name all the time. It's with Thanos. He's the guy that has the power to open dimensions so that he could transport you into other parts of the universe.
what? Was
Like
he in the fucking movie or where was he?
no, he wasn't in the movie. He was in the comics.
Oh, I know Ebony Maw, but that's not Ebony Maw. He's the telekinetic guys. The person that could teleport you anywhere. Oh, you're talking Puck. No.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
no,
you're
no.
talking Puck.
Here, wait. Let me
Pip.
see.
Yeah, Pip. Yeah, you're talking about he's a Guardian of the Galaxy member. Yeah, he's the little. He came out at the ending of He came out of the Eternals, man.
Huh, but that's not a real movie.
Well, I mean, physically real, but
Eternals
he
is
came out at
freaking
the end of the
gay,
movie.
dude.
They introduced him really fast, and he came out with a Henry Styles dressed as Star Fox, playing Harry Styles. So yeah, that was the
Uh,
weirdest fucking cameo
Henry
I've ever
Styles
seen.
playing. Let me see.
Should be Pip the Troll.
No,
PIP.
it was
Yeah, Pip the Troll.
I'm trying to. I literally just typed in Marvel comic character black guy.
The what? Wait,
What's
what'd you do?
Marvel comic character black guy?
I'm telling you what it is, boy. I'm telling you.
Let's
It's this
see. It
guy.
was.
Look, it's this guy.
Hold on. Let me look at your screen. No, not him.
Not Pip the Troll. He's the one that teleports everybody across the universe.
No. It was a very specific. Like he has like a yellow like suit.
Are you talking
Um,
about Ex Helio?
I think
The
so,
one that has
man.
like a weird, like they have the Omega sign on their chest or something?
Mm, hold up. Give me a second. I don't know how I'm supposed to actually find this guy. He was like he helped defeat Thanos. Like he got the
Help
he got
defeat
He
Thanos.
got Drax teleported
He got
to it.
Draxed. I'm telling you, bro, it's Pip the Troll. I know what I'm telling you, but he's probably just in another body.
Dude, I'm
Drax.
freaking out right now because I swear it's damn. Why can't I think of this character? I brought it up in another stream. I
Unless you're
think you
talking
guys
about
did a
Adam
video.
Warlock, which I really doubt.
No,
I mean,
definitely
he's a
he's gold.
yellow fucking dude in the comic
He's
books.
gold. He's not
Yeah.
yellow. He's gold, dude. What
No,
movie?
he's no. We're gold saviors here.
Um, I don't know, man.
I wonder if you're talking about because okay, so like Pip the Troll as a character, there is the where Drax kills Thanos, right? And in that one, they
Mhm.
do their souls are put in other bodies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Pip the Troll is this dude that intergalactically can like teleport wherever he wants, like wherever he wants.
Yeah, this guy, like I'm not gonna be. I should have come better prepared bringing him up. It was.
No, but I like these. These are challenges. It makes me remember comic books, but like I just need
It's
to
gonna
know in
piss
what
me off,
form.
dude. Yeah,
I just
go
need to
ahead
know
and
in what.
rant. Um,
Was he an X-Men? Was he a Guardian? Was he?
dude, I'm second. You know when you second guess yourself because you can't figure it out. Now you like don't want to say it because everything that's gonna come out is probably wrong.
No, it's fine. That's what we're here for. That's why we're
I
here.
think he's his own character.
Okay. And it was against Thanos, and it was the comic book that Drax kills him.
I think so. I think. Um,
What did he look like, if you remember?
he had like kind of like a fro. I remember bright yellow suit. Um, and I think he had a spear.
A spear.
It's a very wacky name.
Very afro with spear. I wonder if it was probably like would it might have been like the first iteration of the Guardians?
Like the Jack
Fire
Kirby
Lord?
comics.
No, not Fire Lord. Those are yeah, because remember the Guardians in the comic books, they started off with a different group of people. It wasn't like the
Yeah.
ones in the there was like the guy with the there was Yondu, there was like Star something.
Uh huh.
Nah, but I don't see
Hold
a
up.
yellow dude. That's weird, man. Yeah, I wouldn't have any idea.
It was
Who?
I think was it Abe Brown? No. No, that was Black Tiger.
It was what?
Abe Brown.
Big Brown?
Abe.
Abe Brown? Marvel. Oh, I mean, yeah, he's a black character with a yellow suit,
Yeah, but then there's like Aegis.
but he is he's a martial arts guy. He's not even like a
Yeah. Like, dude, I gotta figure out after the stream because I'm not gonna like I
But
remember.
was the character a black character?
Yeah,
Oh,
the black character.
dang, that's cool.
I and I and I remember because I picked up like this whole like um I picked up this book for my son so that he could kind of read about some of like the Marvel characters, superheroes, who's bad guy, who's good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in it and it reminded me of the comics I read about with him in it. He had never had his own comics. He was a character that was just floating
He
around.
was just there. Well,
But
he was a son of the Tiger. That's the group that he was a
yeah,
part of. Bronze
but
Tiger.
like for instance, they like and I'm talking about the MCU themselves. Like they could have brought in Cable and do his own story.
I
Yeah,
for a
you know.
million years keep telling people Blue Marvel, dude. Like
But yeah,
I was I've been
Blue
so
Marvel, he has a
disappointed they
lot of
haven't done it.
interesting stuff. I think it would definitely have to be word of mouth. I don't think Blue Marvel would ever get like a box office opening weekend hit, but it could do a lot of money after all the fans, the true fans, go watch it. Because Blue Marvel was a very niche character. Like,
Yeah, he was unique. Yeah, right.
well, like he was like a C-list character.
Yeah.
You know, he was like right over there with like Thor and Iron Man, where like people
Mm-hmm.
know of them but don't really read them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, like I think and we've already seen that it doesn't work. Like even the normies, they're like, yeah, I don't want to watch a character that takes up the mantle of another character. Like Ironheart is a terrible choice. You know, like
Yeah, Ironheart's
and
a hard watch.
and Disney is
A hard read
was
too.
panicking hiring Robert Downey Jr. because they're like, well, we can't bring back Iron Man because again, they think, and um, I know, I forgot what was his name that was on the podcast last night.
Brian.
Brian, I know he's not with me on Endgame being a bad film, but
Yeah.
it won't stand the test of time. Like there are things, for instance, Lord of the Rings. Let's say Paramount now like just ruins it, attaches it all to the Peter Jackson stuff, and ruins it. Those movies can't be tainted. Like Star Wars is a cinematic franchise, and that was tainted, and now it's a dead franchise.
Yeah, pretty
Like
much.
the quality of storytelling stands the test of time, at least for the originals for sure.
Mhm.
But it's not going to keep
Brian's
growing.
like, that's still a bad take.
But
Brian's in
like
the
no,
comments.
like
What's about it?
if you watch Endgame in 20 years from now, not only are you going to watch all the other movies before that to get to Endgame for context, but it's not a film. It's a film that gravitated moments in terms of like the like what everybody went through leading up to it. It's kind of like Craven the Last Hunt. You have to go through 10 years of reading the comics, waiting for this stuff to come out for it to be like really impactful. You can't just write one movie of Craven the Last Hunt. You know, there
And
needs to be a build up to it.
it's
And
like even with
so,
that, right? Because like again, Blue Marvel, even though he's not necessarily like
Brian.
a leading character in the Marvel universe, it's still a good template because you have a solid original black superhero
Hmm.
character in a time where there was something. I mean, because of course that was during like the civil rights movements and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you had an actual time in history that people could gravitate to. You build that character based off of their trials and tribulations during that time. Him having his moral stature of being a hero and a
Hmm.
person, saves the president, does things, then goes missing, and then is needed the call again,
Yeah, he has
and
kind of like a
comes to
Captain
fruition.
America story.
Huh?
You know, he has kind of like a Captain
Yeah,
America
yeah, and
story.
that's what
You
makes
know,
that's why I think Blue Marvel, and it's so cool because like, but the problem with those characters is you have so many Supermen, like Superman character s character tropes that are in the Marvel universe. Like right now, you
well,
can't do it because the Century.
uh, I like. Here's the thing: they're not going with the comics, so they
No, no, they're
can't
not.
do it. The big thing is actually investing in these characters. I don't think it's a matter of at the time a comic was made and how popular it was at the time. I
Mhm.
think it's like they need to focus on the story. What do they want to tell within that story? What characters do they have in their arsenal that they could implement that maybe they haven't used? But don't give sloppy seconds to men, Asians, women. Like, don't do that. Like, if a character was originally created this way, like if Black Panther was originally created in Africa as a black man, then don't write Black Panther as like a white man in Alaska
Yeah,
and call him Black Panther. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, you have all these characters, especially like the X-Men. The X-Men's the perfect opportunity for you to have whatever you want. And based off the whole mutation stuff, you can write original characters that you came up with, like Lionel Luthor and Harley Quinn. You
yeah,
can
yeah,
do
yeah.
that,
But
you
we're
know?
talking about like in the films, right? There's no way that works.
Yeah.
There's no way
It
that works.
works. I think
There's
it
no way
works.
that works because you
Well,
can't
how
even
so?
write. They can't even write original characters in the comic books without them not working, right? And then them trying to put them into film. If you
Well, like,
if you start the X-Men film
mhm.
and you bring in Armor, you bring in Blink, you bring in all these random fucking X-Men characters, you need good fucking writers because no one's there to see that. They want to see
Duh,
Storm, they
dude.
want to see Cyclops, they want to see like the characters
Yeah,
that
like
make
they're
the name of the X-Men.
sort of, sort of. Like, look at Ant-Man. Ain't nobody wanted to see Ant-Man outside of the Avengers. Not
I
even
would if they did
like
it as a Wasp character, not Wasp, but what's it? What was his the Hornet? What was his fucking other name? Yellow
what giant.
Jacket, the
Yeah,
Yellow
yeah.
Jacket character. If they did something like that where they put him through time, or they had didn't fuck up with the
Hmm.
Ultron story and they expanded on the father son thing, or if they did the Days of Future Past, having for him to go into the past and he goes and sees like the Celestials and Doctor Strange and sees all this like really like there's a fuckload you can do with Ant Man, but
Yeah, but
people
like,
are retarded and they're stupid and they don't know how to write. That's the
yeah,
problem with
yeah.
it.
No, I totally get it. But like, my case is like Ant-Man, Iron Man. Nobody, no normies knew these films,
Yeah.
knew these characters, right? So, like when Blade came out, it was still a hit. When
Mhm.
Superman came out, that was like Christopher Reeve
Well,
Superman.
okay.
That
So
was a hit,
the
you
reason
know?
why I believe Blade worked was Wesley Snipes himself. He was such a big, phenomenal martial
Mhm.
arts action hero at that time. Like you could put him in a movie where like the weird Jason Statham movies. Like he's taking care of bees, like he's just living in someone's yard and then someone kills the main person, the lady in charge of the house with the bees, and then he goes off and you find out this guy's not a beekeeper. He used to be like the
Yeah,
Jason
yeah.
Bourne of Europe or whatever. And now he's like, then he goes off and kills 28,000 guys with like a can of Coke and a condom. And it's not even like a magnum sized condom. It's just like a regular one. Like
Yeah.
that was Wesley Snipes. That really was
No,
Wesley
no,
Snipes back in the day.
and I think we, at this point, we no longer have the superstar movie action or the superstar actor that will attract people to movies. I think probably Tom Cruise is the last one that
Jason
when you
Momoa.
no,
Yeah.
like if dude, he was in that film recently with Dave Bautista, and
I saw it.
I, yeah, but like nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, I
Nobody's
saw it.
watching
It
it.
wasn't
You know
even
what I mean?
bad.
It's not about being bad. It's just like his name is not taking people to the movies himself. Like when I was going to the movies, if I saw Denzel Washington and I didn't know what movie I wanted to watch, and I saw Denzel Washington, immediately I'm gonna go watch that
Yeah,
movie.
you're probably gonna be like, yeah, yeah, that sounds good.
Like, dude, yeah, like I don't even care if it's good. I have never seen a trailer about Deja Vu or whatever. I'm here. I see Denzel Washington. I'm gonna enjoy seeing Denzel Washington. but like there's no names that like I love Henry Cavill, but his name attached to whatever property is not gonna get me to go watch the movie. You know, like
I understand this.
like for instance, I'll Christopher Reeve's Superman. Yeah, they had Marlon Brando and Gene Hackman, big names. But
Yep.
what was the standout? It was Christopher Reeve, a guy who's never did film a day in his life before Superman. You know, and we still talk about it to this day as
To this
being
day,
the
yeah.
best Superman.
Yeah.
And so all these movies, they need a start. Like before the X-Men movies, Wolverine wasn't the top of the X-Men ever in the comics. He got his own little Logan
I
run.
don't. I disagree.
No, like what I mean is like when you read an X-Men comic, you weren't reading it for Wolverine. You were reading it for the X-Men.
Yeah, but you look at any of the video games. I mean, out of all of them, out of all those characters that came out during that time, Wolverine
Mhm.
was literally the only fucking comic book character out of the X Men that got his own video game. Like Nightcrawler didn't get a game, Cyclops didn't get a game, Storm didn't get a game,
No,
Wolverine got
yeah,
a game.
I agree, but
Yeah.
that got a game when after the X-Men movies.
Okay, so you had like the X Men Children. Well, actually, it was in GameCube or something. That was like Wolverine's Revenge or something like that.
No, yeah, yeah, but that's after the films.
No,
So the
this is after
yeah,
the cartoon show, the animated series, and what is it? The annual, the big 19 something.
the GameCube released after the X-Men movies.
No. Much. Let me see. Wolverine. I think it was Game Boy.
And just to let Brian Davis know, like that's what Disney's capitalizing on for RDJ to go watch Doomsday. But I'm not watching Doomsday because of RDJ. I'm watching it to see a dumpster fire.
And then
And I
Wolverine.
don't think his name is gravitating. Like if they say RDJ is back as Iron Man, it's still Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. as a mix. That's what brings back people. I think people are interested to see how Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing in the MCU again, and with the big cast, like if it was just Doomsday and we didn't know about any other actors coming in this film, it would not have and I'm not saying the hype is good. It wouldn't have the current hype it has now. You know, like 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 it's gonna be a 4 hour movie with over 20, you know, hero characters that not even Endgame had only until the final act.
Yeah, look, watch. I'm gonna show you this real quick. You have. Let me open this up. Bing, bang, bang, bing, bang, pow.
Look,
Bing, bang, pow.
like it's not my personal toxicity. It's like I remember when Endgame was being spoken about left, right, and center.
Look,
Like,
this game,
dude,
the movie came out
yeah.
in 2000, right? The first X Men movie. This game, which was super popular, came out in 1991.
No, thought you were talking about GameCube.
No, I'm talking about just
I don't
gaming
even
in
know this
general.
game.
Yeah. No, I'm just telling you that Wolverine by
Well, he
far is
wasn't
probably the most popular character out of all the X Men.
I think now, but I think when it
Oh,
was just the
beforehand, dude.
when I
Well,
think it
he
was just
was
the
like from the very
comics,
beginning.
like I didn't really hear a whole lot of talk about Wolverine. I heard a lot Nightcrawler, Magneto, Xavier, and what was the other guy?
Charles Xavier.
There's Charles Xavier, Magneto, Nightcrawler that I would hear a lot about.
Yeah.
And there was one other I think it might have been Storm.
Yeah. Well,
No,
Wolverine.
Cyclops.
Yeah,
Like
Wolverine by far has been the most popular character.
no, I agree. It's been the most popular character. But just to answer Brian and
Go
Miguel,
for it.
it's you know when Endgame was coming out, regardless of what you think if it's a masterpiece or if it's garbage, whatever it is, like constantly people talked about it, and to the point where when it got closer, no, and there was leaks on who was gonna die and who wasn't, people didn't even want to know. And we would talk about it every single day. Even after Captain Marvel, we would talk about it every single day. I don't hear and like just look back at the timeline when YouTubers were making videos about Endgame and predictions. People were talking about it every live stream. like there was at least one video a week by every YouTuber who's in the nerd sphere talking about Endgame. We're not seeing one video a week about Doomsday. We're usually seeing people talk about like their concerns for Doomsday. How are they gonna make the film work with all these new characters? Like, does it have the
Miguel.
possibility to succeed? I think I think they really need to make this film succeed, but I don't believe in Disney. Like, I believe that they hired Robert Downey Jr. because they were scared with all the box office flops that they had. And we have like 60 plus hours more content than we ever did from phases 1 through 3 on phases 4 and 5.
Mhm.
And it's the least talked about stuff. That's what I'm pointing out of what's currently going off. Um,
I know I'm barely
and
reading the comment section. I was trying to look for this, but again, just to clear up for the
well,
Wolverine thing,
like,
right?
he's saying like a lot of BS spewed here. I'm like, okay, well, like I don't, li- yeah, like
Wait, okay,
Eternals
so
was
wait, what did I miss? What are you talking about? Flops? What are flops?
like Eternals, didn't
Eternals
even
was
break
bad.
even. Um, Black Widow, they took it out of the theaters, didn't even break even to the point where Scarlett Johansson had to sue. The Loki season 2, the Daredevil Born Again, it's some of the lowest rated shows. She-Hulk, like
She Hulk was bad.
like
Ironheart was
pretty
bad. Like
freaking
we
terrible.
we know that they're
Ironheart.
bad.
So and that requires money to make, and they're losing money. They've lost fans because it's like their toy sales are down. Video games are down. They don't even update their servers on their games.
Yeah, I don't think
They
I don't. Yeah, I think
like
Brian's right. I don't
me-
think she sued because it flopped,
no, she sued because they're supposed to keep it in theaters for a certain amount of time
and they cut
because
it because it was
actors get
already.
residuals off how much it makes in the
Yeah.
box office, right? And when they put it directly to Disney Plus soon after, that was the reason to sue.
Yeah.
But the reason they put it onto Disney Plus is because it wasn't doing well in the box office. Because if they had Disney Plus when Endgame was out, I don't think they're gonna put Endgame on Disney Plus until the whole lifespan of the $2 billion is made, and
Mhm.
then put on Disney Plus, maybe even months later.
Yeah. That's just
You
making
know,
money. That's just them making cash.
they didn't have to. They say it was COVID, but then you see Spider-Man: No Way Home, and that made
Hey,
over a
but you know
billion
what?
dollars.
I'll fucking give it up to Marvel. They took the chance to put Black Widow on streaming, which was a great
Mm.
fucking idea because I think theaters suck. I think theaters are a waste of fucking time and money. I mean, it's not. There's not an event. There's like that weird chick
Yeah,
from
but
the
it's a
Batman movies that's
spectacle.
like, come to AMC and do the event or live a movie. I don't know. She made that stupid ass
Yeah,
video.
yeah, yeah.
And now you look
Well,
at
like,
AMC's fucking numbers and they're plummeting because no one goes to movies because movies suck.
yeah, yeah.
The movie experience, I've talked about this before, is like $15 cheaper than going to SeaWorld. And then
Mhm.
a fucking what is it? A fucking bottle of water costs like a quarter of a tank of gas, dude. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
fucking fuck movies, man. I think movies are stupid. Most of the actors that claim movies are amazing, all this go eat a dick, man. They don't know what it's like to be living
Look,
life.
look. I love the movie theater. I have great
I like the
memories from
idea of
it.
the movie theater.
Um,
I like knowing there's a big ass fucking television screen and I could just chill the fuck out and eat popcorn. But like, I don't need to drive that. I
mhm.
get that at my house with a projector and chill the fuck out. But I mean, of
Look,
course, not as cool though.
no,
But
no, I get that, but like going with a group of friends, like for instance, if Endgame came out and they were saying like, "Oh, it's going to release in theaters, and then a week later it's going to release in Disney Plus," I would still want to watch that spectacle on the big screen at the movie theater with a group of friends, even for overpriced popcorn, like sneaking in your candy, whatever it is. Like I think regardless, watching a film for the first time is always gonna look and feel better at a movie theater. I think
yeah. I mean,
I
that's the
think
same
like
thing.
Doomsday, if people want to watch Doomsday, they should watch it at a movie theater.
I like going to
You
Chili's and
know?
getting a what is it, the 20 something dollar partner plan and getting a food, but it's kind of weird when you do it by yourself. Like you're saying the movies are cool because of the experience of you going with your friends and seeing a movie and sneaking films
Hmm.
in. But like it's the moment it becomes where it's isolated and you're by yourself, it's kind of like All right. Well, let me see. You have to take the. You have to be like a really big lover of the technology of film to want to sit there, spend money, and sit by yourself and watch a film. It's like that. It's like I like Chili's. I think
Um,
it's cool when they have the
yeah,
two for 20 deal, but I can't do that by myself because then I'm a fucking loser looking like all
ju-
weird at the restaurant.
yeah. Just to answer Brian,
Yeah.
Black Widow and Spider-Man No Way Home came out the same year because he said like it was during COVID, and then Spider-Man No Way Home was the end of COVID. They
I think
came out
that's
the
when
same
everything
year.
was kind of opening, though. That's what he means.
Yeah, but you take Black Widow and Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah, Spider-Man's always been a bigger character than pretty
Yeah,
much all
yes.
of
Black
Marvel.
Widow's not gonna make a fucking billion
Not a
dollars.
billion, but it like you don't like for instance, Superman, the James Gunn Superman was taken out of theaters
Yeah, that was crazy.
before the 45-day uh limit of like box office runs, and and they literally said because it flopped.
Yeah.
It was a flop, right? So they wouldn't take it out if they knew that they weren't going to make any more money in the box office. So it's not about it's like you're making these films to make $1 billion. But if Black Widow, let's say it costs 200 million to make, you want it to at least make 400 million at the very least before you put it into your streaming service, so that you made your money back and you made some profit.
Nice, nice, nice. See, I'm trying to look up some stuff real quick about it. So I want to be a little bit more on the nose about it. So the film's total income reached approximately $355.9 million, with a total
Mm-hmm.
theatrical revenue of 314.9, making 60 million on Disney Plus. 60 million on Disney Plus is crazy though. That's a big
Yeah,
number.
but those are reported numbers, and that we don't can't see how that happened because
Yeah, yeah,
Disney
it's
Plus,
it's still
Disney,
still spent like 200 something million to make
yeah,
the film. It didn't make
because
money.
Disney Plus, like they've had open what shareholder meetings.
Mhm.
Disney Plus till this day hasn't made a profit.
What do you mean? Say that
Like
again.
Disney Plus till this day has not made a profit since
Off of
its
Marvel
release
films?
off of anything. Like Disney Plus themselves, how much it costs to keep Disney Plus running, and the content that they currently have hasn't brought in enough people to sign up and off the products that they have currently made to go in to buy, your merchandise, your toys, all that stuff.
Yeah,
They
but
haven't
that's
made
like
their money back.
that's it's really hard to explain if Disney Plus, for
Hmm.
what it's worth, is in an experimental stage or not, because of the fact that Disney makes its money from its parks and shit. That's where it really makes a
Yeah, yeah.
fuckload of just huge
Oh
amounts of
yeah.
money.
Well,
So like they
the
don't
but
even, if they wanted to, they can cancel all of Disney Plus and only make films and just run off of what they're doing for, because that's what they did to that whole fucking Disney cruise, the Star Wars one. Do you remember that?
yeah.
Like, can you imagine
Yeah.
how crazy it is for them to be like, oh, we made this like 3 months ago, so like, yeah, just get rid of the boat, fuck all that shit. And they were like, boy, it was like a fucking $1 million or whatever. They're like, I don't give a shit. Like, just can it. It
Yeah,
sucks.
they have the money to burn, and that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a
yeah.
problem
So
because
them
when
not
you
making profits off of
yeah,
Marvel
yeah.
doesn't matter. The first 10 years of the film, they made a lot of fucking money
Well, the
because they were
shareholders care.
forerunning like
That's
everything
why they've had
film.
so many meetings because the shareholders care. Like why and like the board of directors are like the board of directors are numbers guys. This is
Yeah,
usually their meeting. Is like, hey, we had we had Endgame, and then whatever the second Spider-Man movie came out. Why didn't it make as much as Endgame? Because they're not in the sphere. They know numbers. It's like, why
yeah,
didn't this movie make 2 billion and this movie did? Like, this is crazy. Why are the numbers going down? Because that's not a normal thing to happen. If like the MCU became a universe that so whatever movie you make, if it's well written, if it's like adapted to the comics, and if there's a story that they're going for, then boom, you're going to at least have a pretty stable line across where like every movie is going to make a certain amount, some a little higher, some slightly lower, but it's going to be the same across the board.
yeah.
But there was no focus on phases 4 and 5. Like, who's the big bad? Why is there team ups? Why isn't there team ups? What's going on? Like all the stories are singular stories that happen after the fact,
Yeah.
and at the same time, there's no consequences to after for other characters coming in and these occurrences happening. Like you're not they didn't it didn't flow at all like phases 1 through 3 did. Even if there's bad movies through 1 through 3, it still flowed in terms of where the direction of uh team up is gonna happen.
See, and it's
You
crazy to
know?
me because like the way that I think is like the investors and all these people that they're supposed to be making money to and all this stuff, they're not stupid. These guys are millionaires or whatever. They probably, they sit on money all day. When we think
Yeah.
about the idea of moving $1 million, it's like the biggest thing to us because we've never seen that kind of money, much less $100,000. These guys, they move that shit weekly or daily. You know what I mean? Like, so it's really
Yeah.
nothing to them.
Dude,
So
like
like,
$1 million
so,
is scary. Like by the end of 2025, I was almost what like no, by like mid 2025, I was almost $1.2 million in debt.
yeah. So it's
It
like,
was freaking terrifying.
it's yeah, too, because you're like,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna make that in my life. So like, the
Yeah.
idea is
But
like,
luckily I got out of all of it. Just went
but
straight to
okay,
zero. Solid.
well, thank God you did.
Yeah, dude, I was
But
like
like, okay, so
fuming. Yeah.
the idea is because it's there's a psychological aspect to this. We don't think in those numbers. We think
Hmm.
like the normal everyday guy. So when we're talking about 1 or 2 billion or 1 or 2 million, I'll say million because billion is just crazy to me. Um,
Hmm.
we look at the idea of like how you said the investors are coming, and you really think the investors are like, pitch me Ironheart, or do you think they're just like, I don't care, bro, just make me my money.
No, no,
Like
yeah, I think they're
you do
just
whatever
like
you want.
making my money, but when they see that it's not making money, they're concerned.
They're
They
still
are gonna
making money
they
because it's not just they're not investors in just Disney Plus. They're
Mhm.
investors across the board of Disney, which goes Star Wars, Disney, the parks, the fucking cruises, the food at the park that's fucking for adults, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
marriage things. They're gonna make money no matter what. It's Disney. It's Disney. Like that's what they're putting their name on. It just so happens that they subplot all of these different things that suck because they bring in a bunch of people that they're
Mhm.
like, "Hey man, I know what works. Give me my money and I'll make a movie."
Yeah,
And they're
well,
like, "Sure,
we
bro."
saw one of the reasons that phases 4 and 5 sucked is because they had a formula. Like what was the director of WandaVision was, or no, what, there was one of the shows where one of the directors was pissed because she couldn't direct the fighting scenes because they already had it planned out. Like, no, the fighting scenes are gonna go this way. And then like even Sam Raimi talked about it in Doctor the Multiverse of Madness, and that movie flopped hard. He's like, I don't even know how this movie ends because like he was there in name only. They just needed
Mhm.
somebody with a name, and then the studio took over and was like, we're gonna write this crap.
You
And
see,
that's why we've
I don't
been
even
getting
believe that
flops.
shit, dude. I don't believe that stuff
Well,
because
like
of the fact that
think about
he
it
put
this way:
Bruce
Bob
Campbell in it
Iger.
for fuck's sakes. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's Sam
Well,
Raimi's signature at the end of the movie. He knew that was going to come out at the end of the thing. A lot of these dudes, they like to point
yeah.
fingers when they fuck up, and that's just what it is. Like
No, no,
they
he
think their
said it
shit
before the
works, and
movie
it doesn't.
released. He said it before the movie released. He's like, I don't know, like I'm not happy with it, and I don't know how this ends because I wasn't there for it. Like he had an interview. Like there's a video of him.
Hmm.
Like the problem is a lot of these studios, like Bob Iger. There's a lot of people that have money. They want to be considered a creative. They want to believe that they are creative, and they're not.
Yeah,
So
they suck.
they do get their hands involved. Like that's why we've seen sequels from every franchise that exists, be sequels or prequels, like not do well because the studio had involvement.
Mm.
Like in Smallville, because of Vampire Diaries, they had to do a bunch of love triangles because Vampire Diaries was in, and then there was that whole era that everything had to had like love triangles. Always had to be two people liking the same person, and that one person liking only one of them, and then
That's
like an
just Joss
argument throughout.
Whedon, man. That's just Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Joss Whedon.
Yeah. But Josh
That's
Whedon,
what.
he like as much as like he is a scumbag, he's a great writer and great director.
Yeah.
Like he did the Avengers. He was there for phases 1 and 2, and unfortunately, he's the only one that could do that humor. MCU tried to keep implementing his humor, and now we call it the MCU humor because it's like the same thing every time. There's
Yeah,
not.
it's the format. But it's his
Yeah,
style.
but it's not working because it's not like the guy who understands that humor is not behind the camera. And
Well,
so like
it didn't work.
people instead of doing their own thing, are trying to do things that are, like you said, analytical and formulaic, where like they
Mhm.
know it's going to succeed. Like the
Yeah,
reason the MCU exists today is because people like John Favreau, Josh Whedon, Kevin Feige, and the team that created, like the Kevin Feige and I forgot the two other executives, they didn't know it was going to succeed. They want to put it out there because they believed in it, they loved
they
it,
took
and
a
they're
chance.
putting it
Yeah,
out there, right? Because until 2012, Disney didn't wasn't involved. It was Paramount and Universal, and they weren't involved in the MCU. They purchased it. They purchased the plans all the way up
Fox also.
into Endgame,
Yeah,
and then they got rid of everybody who were writers. Like, what one of the reasons Daredevil one through seasons 1 through 3 is like some of the greatest TV you'll ever see in terms of superheroes is because they literally thought these characters were crap and then gave it to Netflix. And a bunch of guys that actually loved the comics and were comic book writers were also involved in creating of these shows. Yeah, I got woke with like second season of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Like it just started going downhill after season one. All that stuff. It still was well, like did really good. And then they realized the popularity, purchased, like got the rights back, and then they're on Disney Plus. They fired all those staff of like the old writers for the Daredevil show, and then we got Daredevil Born Again, which is nothing. Like even if you like it, it's nothing compared to the first 3 seasons of the original Daredevil
yeah, and
series.
then they linked
Yeah,
everything to the Netflix series after saying it wasn't even like a part of the MCU.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that
like
was the
the
same thing that they
original
did to
the
Joss Whedon with
original
Shield, Agents of Shield.
well, the original writers did that in the Daredevil show and all the other shows. Like they like Jessica Jones would like say like, "Hey, take it up with the green guy. I'm not the one that destroyed New York." They
Yeah,
would do
yeah,
like
yeah.
lines like that,
Even in
you
the
know.
first season of Daredevil, there's like newspaper clippings of like the Chitauri invasion. So like
Yeah, yeah.
it
There's also like the Incredible Hulk behind. I forgot the first reporter that gets killed by Kingpin in season one.
yeah.
Um,
There's someone's wearing a
he
mask or something, right? Or
what?
a
No,
graffiti or something like that.
no. Behind him, he was one of the guys. It shows the Incredible Hulk and the Abomination fight, like
I watch
from
Iron
the first
Fist. Yeah.
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. Oh no, someone Vince. What's up, Vince? Good to see you, bro. He's like, what would you watch again? I was like,
Dude,
oh,
I
Iron Fist.
definitely Iron Fist. Like I have my
Yeah,
problems with it, but by far, She Hulk is another like
it's a mess.
molestation of freaking
Yeah, it's a mess.
creativity. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, it's a big mess.
Like I don't want to
Um,
watch CGI twerking. What the freak was that?
no, it's not even that. I mean, like
No, no,
the
no.
whole
I'm
entire
just pointing
concept of
that
the
out.
show.
Like all of it sucks, but like it's
Yeah,
crazy that they implemented all this wacky stuff that has nothing to do with nothing. You know.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is, right? Like those shows, and they have like big failures and stuff like that. But fuck, we've digressed. Like, we got to digress a lot. Going back to what we were talking
Well,
about.
I
So
think I think it's important to talk about like well, I don't think we've digressed because it was about Spider-Man Noir and then where Marvel their
no,
direction is gonna
I mean,
go, right?
we went off the path. We went off the path of what we were talking about. Um, yeah,
What
I
were we
think
talking
it's
about?
yeah, I know. That's why it's like fuck what we're talking about. The idea is, I think the Spider Noir film is a good experiment
Mm,
because Marvel's allowing Sony to do it. I mean, Sony hasn't had a good line on them doing great
yeah,
with films and stuff, but again, if they pull off a live action Spider Noir and it works, then they can do Gwen Stacy, which will probably end up getting at the ending of the film
yeah.
as her coming through the portal during Spider Verse 2 or whatever, because they're supposed to be working together in that film. And then, of course, we'll eventually get some live action of Miles, because I do believe Miles Morales will come out in this universe, and it's probably going to be before Secret Wars, and then he'll be the reboot new Spider
No,
Man.
there's already been the rumor that that one kid from Stranger Things is gonna be Miles Morales.
Yeah, I saw that videos. He's like doing flips and all that shit. I think that's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a.
like he's
I think he's
expressed
a good kid.
interest before that he
Yeah,
wants to play Miles,
I think he's a good kid.
and No Way Home already hinted at Miles Morales.
Yeah, now, but I don't know if it's gonna work because now we have apparently Sadie Sink coming out in fucking Spider Man as Jean Grey, and it's already
Yeah,
like you got one Stranger Thing kids, and then we got the kid that the guy that plays
yeah,
Steve Harrington is apparently in talks to play Nova, Richard Rider, which would be fucking dope. I
That
think he
one is
would
like
be
the
a
one I'm like,
legit.
all right, like I'm not sure if I'm excited about it, but like I'm
I'm
definitely
fucking
interested in hearing
stoked. I
about it.
think he does a
Well, like
legit ass,
it's
bro.
it's more like at this point I'm really worried on who's gonna be the director, how's the writing, like the trailer. Like I feel like I've been burned too much to like really have hope.
Oh
Like I'll
yeah,
take the trailer as it is,
shit.
where
That's
it's
me in
like,
all films right now,
well,
man.
like for instance, I'm not really caring about Marvel, but when I saw the Spider-Man Noir trailer, regardless of what I think that they're gonna screw up, it to
Yeah,
me
I was
like
gonna say.
it excited me like crazy. Like I thought it's like
I was gonna say
this
with
this
with
looks
the
good.
track field of
Yeah.
how Sony's handled the films, fucking Madam Web, fucking what was it,
Morbius,
Morbius, and now fucking
Craven.
Craven. Like, how
Yeah.
is it that you can have any faith talking about just Marvel messing up a couple of random fucking like C-list characters? You're
Yeah.
talking about Sony fucking up like all its fucking main villains
Well,
and
like
somewhat of their new
that's why
characters.
I take it in face value. Like even the show, even if like Spider Noir sucks, like let's say it just sucks, right? I think the trailer itself is good. Like I think the trailer does the job of being a trailer. It makes it look really good. You don't know anything. Like you could barely get an idea of what direction it's gonna go. Like I have no idea if there's gonna be a villain. I have no idea like if he's psychotic or not based off the trailer. Like based off the trailer alone, it gets me excited to go watch that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm saying
Yeah.
that it's not about my comic knowledge. It's not about watching Spider Into the Spider Verse. Like one of the things that gave me faith is that the producers of Into the Spider Verse is also the producers for this show.
The which one?
The producers of Spider-Man Into the Spider Verse, the three films, or
They're
the
sitting
two
as
films,
producing
and then there's
seat
been
for
three.
this one.
They're also the producers for this one.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
of course, because they gotta make sure that it stays in line with what they're doing. It's either gonna give
Well,
us
well,
a.
they still haven't announced if it's actually going to fit into any universe. They're playing it off
I
as if
guarantee it
it's its
is,
own
dude.
thing.
I
Oh
guarantee
yeah,
it's based off
probably,
of that character,
probably.
but it's gonna be before the first Spider Verse movie because he already knew his origin and he had already been established during the Spider Verse one movie.
Hmm.
So it's just like his origin story and how it comes in. And again, like at the end is when you're gonna get like that glitch portal, and it's gonna be like it pulls them in and it gets people excited and riled up. Because again, I I could probably ask you right now, and you're probably not gonna be able to give me much on anything Spider Noir, like as a villain, who his villains are, how he could carry a movie. I think that's why you have faith in it only being like hopefully it's only one
No, no,
film,
yeah.
not
It's not
multiple.
a like I know as much as like what's got me mainly interested is Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas
Like
Cage.
I have there's no shame to my game. I don't know much about Spider Noir at all,
Yeah,
at
yeah.
all.
I'm
I
not even gonna try
know,
to fake that shit.
yeah, I know it's a rip off of another detective comic. Um,
Well,
like
it's
not
just
not
comic
DC
noir. It's
comics,
like
but
Dick
like
Tracy or whatever. It's just based on a genre. I
no,
wouldn't say
no,
it's
no.
like a
I know it
copy.
actually ripped off like this whole storyline of this other obscure comic. I
Really?
can't. Um, I think
Interesting.
a good YouTuber that talked about this, J Man, he
Mhm.
talked about this, and I knew it back in the day from just going to a comic shop and we were talking about Spider Man, and every time somebody brought up Spider Noir, I had no idea what they were talking about, but that was usually like a big thing, like because there's always the talk of Stan Lee or Marvel ripping off DC, Reed Richards, Elastic Man, stuff like that.
Hmm. I'm
You
trying
know
to
what I
see if
mean?
I could find it because that's interesting. I didn't know that it was like a rip off of another something. Let me see. I'm just trying to see. It wouldn't be based on. It's just a rip off, right?
Yeah, what's up, Conflict? Like and subscribe, dude.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Like,
The
thank you, thanks, conflict. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Um, yeah, yeah. Spider Noir is a rip off. But yeah, like I don't know,
No,
man.
and again,
You know,
I haven't read that comic, so I'm not gonna like. I'm saying because here's the thing with comics and then the DCU or the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? It's like it's great to have like the knowledge of comics, right? But we have to take the film in face value. Like Spider-Man Homecoming, I don't think it's a faithful adaptation to anything Spider-Man wise, but objectively, it's a well-written film. They did Vulture better than they did in the comics. You know,
Oh, for the
like there's
film? Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I thought
like that
Michael
that
Keaton
film
did really, really
itself,
good.
that film itself is pretty solid,
Yeah.
you know. But to me, I'd still prefer, Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire over no like Homecoming. And it's not because of the actor, it's literally just the story. Or Spider-Man 1.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I wasn't a big fan of the last movie, the last Spider-Man film.
the No Way Home.
Yeah, and the reason why I think I talked about this like last week, but like it puts this Spider-Man in a position above all the other villains because now he knows practically all of them by name.
In a way,
He
that
does. No, he
that's
knows
that's a,
all of them.
he 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 doesn't know all of them because he doesn't know Scorpion. Well, he kind of does because
Yeah.
he's in prison, right?
Yeah.
But there's he knows only those six characters that we saw, and he doesn't know
That's,
if they're gonna be in his universe.
yeah, and that's literally the what is it called?
Yeah,
The what's the fucking pact of villains that he has? The fucking Sinister Six?
Sinister Six. Yeah.
That's it. That's all his whole
No,
fucking
no, no. But think about it this way. Okay, all of these guys were generally good guys before they became bad guys, right? So if anything, he's going to meet these guys when they are good and make sure that they don't become bad. And if they do become bad, they're going to be an amplified version than the version previous because they most likely are going to think about everybody who's trying to stop them, and they're going to go after Peter Parker regardless if they know he's Spider-Man or not. So he's
maybe.
gonna have a bit like I think there's a lot of room to write a good story. My problem with the new Spider-Man movie that's coming out is that we got all these things of like we're getting freaking Hulk, we're getting um uh like we're back to
Jean Grey.
Savage Hulk. We're getting I think they actually said that at one point.
Yeah,
We're
that
getting
she's
like an
practically
X-Men Hulk.
everybody knows it's Jean Grey.
Yeah,
She's the
and
only
so
redhead in the fucking story if it's not
so it's
Mary
like
Jane.
why this is the first time where we could see like Tom Holland Spider-Man actually be the Spider-Man that we grew up with, where like he's in college, he's not Spider-Man in high school, he's in college, he has no one, and we could actually get a real MJ, and we could actually get even like him working for Dr. Connors, Doctor or even Dr. Octavius, meeting a Harry Osborn that's
Yeah.
actually the Hobgoblin, or even make Ned the Hobgoblin. Like we could have gotten a solid one-off Spider-Man story with Tom Holland where he could solidify his place as Spider-Man. Because I still think he hasn't solidified his place as Spider-Man. He solidified his place as the MCU Spider-Man, and unfortunately, he looks like he's 15 forever. So he needs to bulk up if we're to take him seriously as like an adult.
Yeah,
You
but he's
know,
still like
yeah.
no, he doesn't look 15. I wouldn't say he looks 15. He looks like a normal sized dude. I mean, I was taking him as like the 30-year-old, I'm gonna have a daughter, getting married to Mary Jane, fucking
But
Peter
like,
Parker. I don't believe it. But
no,
like he
but
looks just
like,
college level.
I don't think so. Like, I still
No,
think when I think Tom Holland, even when I see him in other films, I think like, oh, this is a kid. Like this
no,
isn't an
I don't look
adult.
at him like that.
Like
No,
when
he
when
looks
when
pretty
his
normal.
when his acting chops come out, sometimes I'm like, oh shoot, like this is he's doing solid work. Like this is like I'm invested in the character. But I
Mhm.
think his look himself,
He
like
looks very young.
for instance, Zendaya, I think she's always looked young, but she the first movie I looked that I saw Zendaya perform and I didn't think like it was the actress Zendaya was The Greatest Showman. That
Mm.
was the first time I was like, oh, this is the character. Because there's a lot of actors who like you don't see as the character, you see that actor, and vice versa. And I think in terms of Spider-Man, the way they've written Tom Holland's Spider-Man, they've done a disservice to Tom Holland's acting abilities because he's just a guy that like, come on guys, we gotta go like this. Like he's always talking
Yeah,
like
they
that,
write him as a
and
child.
he's always getting saved essentially from all the films up to No Way Home.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, because he
but
always
this is the
plays
first
like
time
the
he's on his own
son.
where he's
He
got to
he
figure it
plays
out.
this weird like subplot variable for Iron Man.
Hmm.
And I don't know why they went that direction and didn't make
Add
it
a
like,
beard to Tom.
huh?
Sorry, he's like add a beard to Tom.
Yeah, just give him a beard. Nah, like I don't know why they, because I think overall the person who understood the variable of being Spider-Man was Andrew Garfield. I think out of costume he played it better.
I
Um,
think also Andrew Garfield, like I said it last time we did the show, where he stole the show of No Way Home, especially like even though Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 garbage,
yeah,
terribly written films, he was never the problem. The way he was written was the problem, the way the story flowed. Like I don't want to see Peter Parker on on a skateboard. Like I love skateboarding. I actually have a skateboard
mm.
and grew up with it. Don't want to see the guy who I always thought as the nerd scientist dude skateboarding and being cool. Like I thought he was just too cool to be Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
I thought that was just I thought the like him riding around on a thing was just like the bike shit. Like it's just a trope because that's what they would do in like a city like New York.
Well, like the yeah, but I don't think he would ride a skateboard in a city like New York.
Why not? Isn't it
Why not?
just like
It's
everything's
way
kind of
more
like close by?
dangerous. It's way more dangerous. It's not as fast. Like he rode a bike for a purpose.
But that's like trope of youth, isn't it?
That
Yeah.
totally get
Even
that. Yeah.
yeah, like I just feel like that was like the idea. I never really like looked
I
at it
don't
in a
think so.
bad way.
I think what's it called? I think Tobey Maguire's was way more accurate. Or like depends on what comics. I think Spectacular and Amazing Spider-Man
Mhm.
are like the definitive Spider-Man comics, and I think Spider-Man 1 and 2 of Tobey Maguire was way more accurate.
I think Tobey Maguire was good because we didn't have anything in comic book history, film wise, that we could like compare it to. That's what I think.
Mm.
That's the same thing with
The,
just Sam Raimi
yeah.
Spider-Man films in general, because most of them are just fucking silly.
Like here's the thing. Andrew Garfield was done a disservice. He was. He
Yeah.
did two garbage films, but he was never a problem as being seen as Spider-Man. I didn't like his suit. I was okay with it in No Way Home. They did a better job, and I would be excited today to watch a Amazing Spider-Man 3, but like far removed from the first two. Like I don't want the
From
same
Marvel stuff,
directors.
right?
Well, at least the first two movies. Again, I wish Disney and Marvel were like, let's make one-off movies of these characters that have implications of a team up later on. But it's like we get the character and then a bunch of cameos that's not necessary.
Yeah.
So then we know we're not going to get a comic accurate story. We're going to get whatever the phase is next. So it's not just hard to predict what the next thing is going to be. It's also hard to figure out where their head is at because none of the films align together.
Yeah,
Of
none of them. Right now
like who's
it's
the
like
next big
that's
bad? Like
super that's what I always
yeah,
talk about. It's like it's super weird that we're getting again a doomsday movie, a doom movie, and it
yeah,
not even be something that's been introduced or like talked about or even like headed to. Um
yeah. By the way, just to Aimville, I disagree. Like, and it's just again, it's just two opinions. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but it was actually Tobey Maguire that came up with the organic web shooters because he was like, well, he thought they actually thought about the implications of like if he has the ability to make this technology, why doesn't he have the ability to make other technology that would make him a millionaire? That he would sell it to
and they
Osborne
did
or
that in the
something,
comic books
you
and it
know?
was a really shitty comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really shitty comic. So
Yeah.
thank God they did that experiment.
And by the way, Tom Holland is getting organic web shooters. It was
And I
confirmed
think it's a huge
that
fucking
yeah,
mistake too, man.
it's a huge mistake. But they're
I-
trying to take away everything that came before and giving it to MCU characters to like solidify them as like this is like well, I think it was the Marvels where they Kevin Feige is like, no, this is actually the 616. It's not the comics.
Yeah, they called him out for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone called him out for that.
Everyone,
Like,
but guess what? He never apologized and he never said otherwise.
well, because he's a stupid ass dude that
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
he just
But
like,
he's the head of
all right, I
Marvel.
get
He's the
it.
head of it. Yeah, yeah.
It's because he doesn't take this shit serious. He's like the investors. Like they don't give a fuck about Kamala
Yeah,
Khan. They don't
he's made his
they're
money.
just
He's
like, yo,
done.
give me my money, dude. Like, give me my money. You want to make a movie? Go make the movie. Oh yes, Iron Man, so cool
Yeah.
when he flies around with his cape or whatever. And they're like, cape? Yeah, that was a joke. I didn't mean that. Like, I didn't mean his
You
cape or
still
whatever.
came, yeah. But like
Yeah,
for me,
that's
the
Kevin
organic
Feige.
web shooters always made more sense because like if you have the abilities of a spider, I'm not saying make the web shooters come out of his butthole, but if you have the abilities of a spider, I think web shooters would be natural because it's the main thing that we know
But
Spider-Man for.
why would it
Nobody's
come out of his hands if that's not what it does for a spider?
because you're human.
You're talking
Because
about
you're
real
human.
genetics here now, man.
Why are
The
you
spider
walking?
juice comes out of his ass or whatever. So like
No, but
let's be blunt, right? Why
yeah,
does the
but like
fucking silk just not stay around the city and it just looks like just fucking streamers all over the place? It's because comic book writers write this shit in, right? Look,
you
the
know
reason
why?
why
Why did the Vulture get his powers through the North and South Pole?
yeah, fuck him.
you know,
Why did Morbius have to get hit by a bunch of bats to get turned into a vampire?
I
Look,
just told
it's
you, Brian. I like freaking Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
so like okay, so
What are you
the web
talking about?
shooters being organic only sets up for the arch that he becomes a spider, like the man spider. That's what it sets up to. It's perfect for
So,
Sam
so I
Raimi
heard that
because
he's gonna
he
be the
does
man spider
horrors.
first, and then get the web
Yeah, you
shooters
see, I didn't
naturally.
even know that. I'm just throwing
Yeah,
this out there because that's the lead up for organic spider webs. So
yeah.
I could see it being that Sam Raimi wanted to do it because Army of Darkness, Evil Dead, like the guy does horror, it's what he likes. So for that opportunity for him to work with like a werewolf
Hmm.
slash spider character, he would have been like, yeah, fuck it, let's make it organic. That sounds great. We can make him turn into the fucking monster. Nowadays, the only reason I can see it happening is like they're gonna just like again, I keep telling people they're trying to figure out a way to get Tom Holland out. You turn him
Yeah,
into
I
an
think
organic
it's
spider. You
he.
make it
He
like
has
a
what, like
fucking
two more movies in his contract
yeah.
as
And he's
appearance
done
of
done. I
Spider-Man.
guarantee that fucking kid's gonna be like, yo, I'm out. Like get me out of here.
Yeah, it depends.
So
If
it's
like here's a, I would say the only thing that would bring him back is if Zendaya divorced him, took all his money. He's like, man, I need a paycheck. Put me back as Spider-Man.
he's gonna be the new guy from fucking what's that dude's name from fucking
Yeah,
300, the one that's just doing a bunch of shitty movies.
Gerard
Uh,
Butler.
yeah, Gerard Butler. He's just constantly doing shit movies just to pay off his
Yeah.
college tuition. Um, Yeah, I think the organic web shooting shit it's a cool gimmick. That's like the clone shit. And you always see these because like again, Miles in the comic books, everybody's talking about I think I told you about some of the online drama that's going on with some of the
Hmm.
characters online, with some of like the comic book creators and people that like are comic book content creators that
Yeah.
cover comic book reviews and stuff. And they're talking about Miles's character. And again, Miles's character, like I said, is like Kamala Khan's character. They were built on a certain genre of time where that demographic needed some type of pickup. They didn't know what to do. They weren't going to create an original character. So they just gave these characters a previous name and tried to run with it. And Miles to this day still doesn't have like a coherent arc for his own character.
Yeah, well, like they've changed it with video games. They've given him extra powers. They've taken away powers at times.
They've
So
turned
it's
him into
like,
Thor. They turned him into Wolverine. They turned him into
yeah, that was
fucking
insane.
yeah. It's because
Here's the
they
thing.
don't have anything for this kid. And right now, I think he did a clone saga. And I was like, bro, they
Yeah,
already did
I've
that
never
with
been a
fucking
fan of
Peter.
doing clone
Yeah, dude, I've never been a fan of
Spider-Man.
any of
Yeah.
this shit where they just keep on like
Well,
regurgitating old storylines for the new characters that are race swapped or gender swapped. And then just give
well, like it's because like everything's a mantle now, and that's a problem. Like I've always been a fan of Miles Morales. Should be like a kind of a Robin to Peter Parker's Batman, right? Where he gets
yeah,
his own name and he's his
Spider
own
Boy.
character. Because even they won't call, like even Disney and Marvel won't call him Spider-Man. Like if you see all the toys, it says Miles Morales, and it doesn't even show Miles Morales' face. It's just his uniform as Spider-Man. And so I think nobody's gonna keep thinking like Miles Morales is Spider-Man. Like everybody's like, oh no, Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and that's it. You know, like Gwen Stacy got Ghost Spider. She wasn't Spider Woman or Spider Girl.
Mhm.
You know, she got her. Uh, you could say if you like the character or don't like the character, she did get her own name. and Miles Morales didn't. Like I thought, like I was talking my theory of what would make a good like arc for
Wait.
Miles Morales,
What do you mean he doesn't
uh,
have his own name? He's Spider
like
Man.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man is from Peter Parker.
Yeah, but he's
Like
Spider
that's
Man.
Spider-Man. But
Everyone
he's
calls him Spider Man. Even
the,
right now, if you go up, if you go up right now, like if you walk
if I ask
outside,
you
hold on.
who's Spider-Man, your
Yeah,
first thought is
wait.
gonna be
No,
Peter
I
Parker.
understand because
Is
you're
what
an
I'm
older
saying.
gentleman like myself. If you walk outside right now and you see a kid that's like 10 years old and you ask him who Spider Man is, who do you think he's going to say?
I think he's gonna say Peter Parker.
I bet you he's going to
Because
say Miles because the Spider
because
Verse cartoon is that was the whole purpose of that.
yeah, but the like people watch the MCU way more, and from the Spider-Man cartoon, Peter Parker's in it and teaches Miles Morales to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's
And so
100%. But
and
that's the whole
even
thing of
Miles
this.
Morales is acknowledging that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Yeah, but even in the
So
comic books right now, when you have both
mhm,
characters solving one crime or fighting one villain,
mhm.
everyone's yelling Spider Man to both characters.
Yes, I
So
know,
he
but
is an
like
established Spider-Man character. That is his name. It just the problem is the writing where they go and
well like
they
people
understand that
don't
you can't
associate
have two
people don't
Spider-Men.
the problem is the association.
Hmm.
Because when if I come on here and be like, "Hey man, I want to talk about
My face is
Spider-Man
ugly.
today." You know, your first thought, anybody's first thought is going to be like, "All right, like is it going to be the Amazing Spider-Man? Is it going to be the Spectacular Spider-Man? Is it going to be the Ultimate Spider-Man? Are we going to talk about the movies? Are we going to talk about Andrew Garfield? Are we going to talk about Tom Holland?" And then Into the Spider-Verse is probably going to be the last thing you'll ever think of. If I
I
say
don't think so.
I want to talk about Into the Spider-Verse, you're usually going to
Except
say,
him.
"Oh, you want to talk about Miles Morales." You're not going to say you want to talk about Spider-Man. That's what I'm saying. It's like he needs to be established by himself. So it's not taking away Peter Parker and then like giving all the story of Peter Parker Spider-Man to Miles Morales. I've always thought like, if you introduce Miles Morales to the MCU, it would be good to have like Peter Parker kind of almost um like Tom Holland Spider-Man, almost like having that ego that you see Tobey Maguire have in the third movie, where like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, I'm so great, and then maybe he's like showing this kid Miles Morales stuff around Dr. Connor's lab, or even Oscorp, and they're talking about like experimenting with spiders and super spiders. Maybe he
Hmm.
gets a little overzealous, and then Miles Morales gets bit, and then Peter Parker feels guilty and has to kind of take him under his wing because like he doesn't know like the great power comes great responsibility. He almost abused his own power, so he doesn't know if Miles is going to turn to a bad guy or a good guy. So then same with Batman, what he did to Dick Grayson. Like he needed to make sure that he avenged his parents in the true way of justice without turning into Batman or a villain, you know? And
But
so then
that's the whole Spider-Verse
but
film.
no, but that's the Spider-Verse film, but they're not, it's a Sony product. They're not going to combine the two. Like they're like a Sony allows um what's it
Marvel.
called? Marvel to use it because it wouldn't make sense. Tom Holland's Peter Parker is not the Peter Parker into the Spider-Verse,
Yep.
you know? So
That's the
that's why
whole
yeah.
problem with the dimensions and this and that. Like again,
Dude, you're seeing
Miles's
they got their
character
own
works.
Kingpin. You had
Yeah.
Kingpin into the Spider-Verse. There's a
Yeah.
lot of like there's
Marvel
villains issues, a bunch of
dimensions
issues.
work and Miles's character works when you say he's part of a different storyline. That it just so happens it's like a what if comic. It's like, oh, what if Peter Parker died and this small Afro Brazilian or what is he like Afro Puerto Rican kid gets
Who?
bitten by the spider balls. It's like Afro Puerto
He's
Rican.
Puerto Rican. Puerto
Yeah.
Rican. I know
He
because
gets
I'm
bitten.
Brazilian.
He gets getting by the spider.
I would have known if he was Brazilian, fool.
Yeah,
I
by
would
now,
have
yeah.
known.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
Donald
prowler's uncle.
was Donald Glover. Did he
He's the
play?
prowler. He's the prowler he's in the
Oh
Spider-Verse,
yeah,
he's the voice
and
actor.
Donald Glover plays the uncle
The uncle to Miles, yeah.
in
So we do
no
have a
in
Miles
Homecoming
in this
Homecoming.
universe already.
So they've already been trying to establish Miles
Yeah,
Morales ever since Homecoming. Like that was like Into the Spider-Verse was kind of like a promotion of the character because the comics were not doing well into like the new generation. because the new generation wasn't even buying old comics. You know,
Mm,
like the comic industry was going downhill. Um, and so they introduced Donald Glover and then Into the Spider-Verse to kind of revamp this character again.
hmm
But and
Well,
then the
because of
video
the
games
fact that
came out, and that was like super successful.
Donald Glover, a long time ago, as an actor and as a person in the entertainment industry, showed a lot of favor in wanting to be Miles in the comic book in the films, and he outaged himself. Like that's just what happens. He just outaged. So they were like, ah, fuck. Like as a trope, that was like the reason why they used that fucking dumbass guy for the Fantastic Four cameo. Like
Pedro
he was never.
Pascal.
No, fuck, even him, he's a fucking idiot. But like, no, the other guy, the one from The Office, Jim, in
Oh,
Multiverse of
I don't.
Madness.
The thing is, I don't think he aged himself.
No, no, no.
The
Well,
gym guy.
he didn't. He outaged to be Miles. He just got older, and the character
Okay, yeah.
came. Now they got the films, but he's already like 30s,
But
and he doesn't look like a 15-year old,
I'm kind of confused
13.
on your. I'm kind of confused on your point with the
Well, I'm
office
just
guy.
saying that with Donald Glover, the reason why he's in, and he was in the Spider-Verse movie, and why he's in the movie for being the uncle, is because he was the guy that everybody wanted, and then he outaged. So
Mm.
as a cameo and as this build-up, they were like, yo, you can't be Miles, but do you want to be his uncle, like the Prowler? And he's like, well, fuck yeah, I want to be associated with this character because I like it so much. Which is the same
Mm.
shit that's why he's in the films. Like he's not.
Yeah, and regardless of what people think about Donald Glover, like
I
I
think he's
like
cool.
that when a comic book fan is like, dude, I like it's like the Samuel Jackson thing where he went to George Lucas, like, I want to be in the movie. Put me in as a stormtrooper. I don't care if they see my face. I just want to be able to tell people because I love Star Wars so much that
Yeah,
that stormtrooper is me. And then he created
mhm,
Mace Windu for him,
yeah,
you know, which is a even better situation.
yeah. I fucking love Mace
But for
Windu.
Donald Glover, like that's really commendable. It doesn't matter if you like the Miles Morales comics or not. He liked it so much that he's like, I just want to be a part of
I
it
just
in
want to be a
any
part of
way,
it.
shape, or form. And
Yeah.
that's those kind of people is what we need in the writers' room and the directors of these films.
Well,
That's
that's why we
like,
got Ryan Reynolds, but he had like
you
a lot
know,
of slack when he came in for the Deadpool Wolverine movie, and then him moving
I
forward.
think the Deadpool Wolverine movie, even though it was successful, I think it was just successful based off the characters teaming up. I don't think it was a good
The
movie.
movie wasn't good.
I don't, yeah,
No, it
like,
wasn't good. It was all the
eh,
nostalgia shit.
well,
It's
like it
really
just
all it
didn't make
was.
sense. Like all the stuff that Ryan Reynolds was going through with his girlfriend stuff, they already went through two movies previous, and then you're gonna tell me every universe has an anchor. So like, is every universe only like 80 years old?
Yeah,
Like
that's
that's,
pretty much
you know,
the
like there's
template.
like a lot of stupid things. I think the TVMA existing even in the comics was always stupid and a
Yeah.
problem. I like,
But it
but
was their way of writing in the Mary Sue for them having timelines. And then it's like, well, why can't you just jump into another timeline and take it over? And oh, well, because there's a policing force. Like that's all it is. And then when,
yeah, but then Wanda did that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
100%. And then she got
one of
called
my
up.
big,
She was in the
it,
TVA. She
well,
got
like
picked
the
up by the TVA.
bare like for like
Yeah,
half
like
a
I want to,
second. Like the
yeah.
Multiverse of Madness, it's a garbage film, but the stakes, the highest stakes the MCU ever had was Wanda. It
Mhm,
wasn't Thanos, it was Wanda. She's not just trying to wipe out their own universe. She's trying to wipe out all universes, all
mhm.
of them. That's a pretty freaking evil thing to do
Yeah, when
for
she
an
did the No More
imaginary
Mutants.
family.
Yeah, No More Mutants was across the multiverse.
Yeah, like it, like I would say this: as garbage as that movie was, they could play that with like the government hating mutants and superheroes, so that you could adapt X-Men comics with the current superheroes that live
Hmm.
after the 5-year snap. Like they
Yeah, I
could
always
do
thought when
that.
they brought people back, they should have established that there was mutants too. Like people came back changed.
Well, I've always been the opinion that they should have waited, like it's 5 years, right, between Infinity War and Endgame. We should have had a 5-year gap of like all like what getting Endgame at 2024,
Hmm.
where we got these TV shows and new characters during the snap,
Hmm.
where like, you know, kind of having like an adaptation of an Old Man Logan, where like bad guys are now controlling half of the U.S. or something like that, or like
Yeah,
they became presidents, and then like people are under dictatorships, whatever it is, and there's only like a few countries that are truly free, and there's superheroes, and superheroes are getting hunted, and it would have been very interesting, you know.
But that's why the Ronin was
Yeah.
going around killing all the bad guys. Hawkeye was out there doing the Lord's work, I guess.
Yeah, and we
He
only
was
got to
stopping
see
all the
him as Ronin
tyrants.
for like half a scene.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all we needed. He
I still
killed the
prefer
guy from all the
Hawkeye
samurai
over
movies, so
Ronin.
we know he's good. We know he's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, he was also in Jason Bourne, dude.
And we have mutants. I don't know why everybody's crying. We have Kamala Khan. They played the X-Men 97 song
Well,
to her.
Wanda's supposed to be a mutant
Nah, she's not. She was created by the Cosmic Cube.
in the MCU.
In the MCU, yeah, she's created by the Cosmic Cube.
Yeah, but
Baron Strucker,
stupid.
remember? They were the fucking.
I know, I know, but I think it's stupid.
I think my favorite one was the Kamala Khan at the ending of the season. They were like, "Oh, Kamala Khan, we checked out your blood, and actually, you're kind of like a mutant." And then they're like the little X-Men fucking mutants thing. I was like, "Dude, fuck off, bro! Like, just leave it alone. Like, just say they're in another fucking universe. Like, stop, dude. Like." And then what fucking made me even more mad was that the comic books tried to make her a mutant, and they fucked it up even more because she was an Inhuman, and then she dies, and then they bring her back with the X-Men regeneration shit. And
you know what did it well and was
place,
like super simple was X-Men Evolution.
Yeah, the comic book or the cartoon. Yeah, the cartoon was really good. That was really good.
They did it simply and super well, and that was it.
Even the Wolverine and the X-Men was pretty good.
That was
yeah. That was another
cartoon that was really good. I think out of all the shows, I prefer X-Men Evolution, just because I think it was like the one that took it really seriously, like, and it was dark, and I've like reading for me, even though like a lot of the suits are all colorful and all that, and there was a lot of good moments, especially like religious moments. I always imagined it as a dark thing, like the X-Men comics as a dark comic.
Yeah,
that's just me. I'm not saying it is. That's just how I felt. So like, I really gravitated toward X-Men Evolution. Didn't really care much for the suits. Like, as a whole, I still think the best ones are from the comics, especially Cyclops, the yellow and blue. But I really like that show.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
And we had Nick Fury and Captain America in that show.
Oh yeah. They would come. Well, that's the thing about the animated series too. Like that X-Men 97 film, I like that final scene when Magneto kind of fucks the planet up, and you get to see like all the animated series from that timeline. The Hulk, you got to see Spider-Man and Friends, and I was like, yo, that's pretty fucking cool. Like they never did a cool crossover like that back in the day. Like to see Rogue like fucking battle it out with Captain America, I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Holy shit! Like,
like
I forgot they were
still
there.
Don't know that stuff exists, man. It's freaking awesome.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was such a great show.
There was a time where like Marvel was dominating in the cartoons, where like, well, actually, I would say not dominating, but DC and Marvel were like at each other's throat the entire time. You know.
Yo, you know what?
Yeah.
Speaking of Marvel, since we're on the topic of it right now, there's not really much that's going on. I know Doomsday's coming out soon, but
So I was just reading like the podcast.
Oh, you're coming up with a comment section or what?
Yeah, my bad.
We had a question earlier that was, have you guys ever came up with your own comic book characters and stories? What about you?
I write stories.
I'll bring this up in a bit.
I've never actually I've written idea like fan fiction of like what I think
furries and stuff. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, furries. 100%. Yeah. Naruto and Sasuke.
So good. No, like mainly like if I personally believe like maybe the comic went off the rails where I think the character's actions would actually take it. You know, like when you read a comic and you're like, I don't really believe like Batman would actually do this from this comic.
I don't believe
himself,
Batman would walk out with his dick out or anything like that, right? Like,
no, dude, that's full canon. What are you talking about?
Fucking guys, like, some of these writers are out of pocket.
Page. What are you talking about?
Some of these writers are really out of pocket, dude.
Yeah, Tom King. But no, like but I do write like stories. Like I usually gravitate towards fantasy, where it's
Like Dungeons and Dragons style almost, right? Like more.
Sort of like
Okay.
I wouldn't say, yeah, like it's like Dungeons and Dragons where like there's dragons, there's wizards, but it's not like the colorful, like crazy, like this guy has a sword that's like 3 times bigger than a freaking
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
horse, you know?
You're talking like Tolkien and the, like the Lord of the Rings
Yeah,
style
it's not high
fantasy.
fantasy where it's like super political,
Yeah,
like
it's like
Game of Thrones.
mythology.
Yeah, but yeah, mythology. Like, but in, I would say Lord of the Rings is a good base
Hmm.
of an idea of um what the things I wrote.
Hmm.
Yeah. I haven't had anything published or anything like that. I want to, but
That'd be
it's
nice.
yeah, but like I talked to somebody in a publishing company, I won't say who. Um they in all their contracts, they have the ability to change it if it does well for their next the next
Okay.
novel or book you're gonna write. So that's where like I would love to publish my own stuff and just put it
Mhm.
out there.
That'd be cool.
And I don't have anything finished, but and like it takes forever, man. Like writing, and I know I could see movies that I'm like, oh, this was just the first draft. Like the
Oh
dialogue
yeah, yeah. They just went through
in
it.
yeah, in like the
Yeah.
Superman movie, like there's obvious like this was the first draft. There's no way they wrote this like 10 times over and was like, that's the line,
Well, even with that, some
you
of those
know?
guys are like, nah. Like Taika Waititi was famous for this. He was like, no, I don't have anything written. Like, I just want you guys to come in and do it on your own. What do you think the character would do? And it's like, well,
Yeah, like
ad lib.
there in terms of acting, there is like a place for that where it's like, okay, so like some of these actors they can improvise, but you have to have an outline of like where you want the direction to go. But there's a lot of great scenes that are historic, that actors came up with. There's also, like, for instance, James Cameron on the Terminator, where they thought it was a nothing line, and Arnold Schwarzenegger kept fighting. It's like, no, he's a robot, so he would speak properly. He wouldn't say "I'll be back." He said, "I will return" or "I will be back." And then James Gunn was just, or not James Gunn, James
James
Cameron
Gunn.
was like, well, you can just shut up and say the line. How about I direct, you act?
You
Let's
act,
do that.
yeah, yeah. There's a
And
place and thing
it's
for it. Yeah,
probably the most iconic line in cinema. I'll be
cinema
back.
history. Yeah,
Yeah. And so like there's a sweet spot there, you know. I forgot what it was that was like the movie Jerry Maguire?
yeah.
So
I've interviewed the
the
kid in that movie.
oh really?
Yeah, the little small
Okay.
one. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt also.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I remember he was. I remember when I saw him like all buffed out. I'm like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Stuart Little's ripped now, dude. That's
Yeah,
crazy. But
buddy.
he so the whole scene where he's like on the couch and Tom Cruise is drunk and he's laughing. He's actually genuinely laughing because the kid is just making up his own stuff, and it's a really heartfelt moment. That's like that just came from the kid and Tom Cruise just like
Just messing around,
going
having a
off
good
with it.
time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And having a good time. And it's like it's genuine and you could almost say it's not acting because it's just real. And that's perfect acting, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But yeah.
that's good
Anyways.
stuff. That's good stuff. Um, yeah, but going back to what we were talking about, in the Marvel universe, they just released. There hasn't really been much that's been going around, like in the concept of what they've released recently. Oh, actually, wait, no, no, no. We were talking about someone asked about writing your own stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've had the opportunity to create. I haven't, like you said, published or nothing, but like written my own stories and stuff. I've done, created characters, kind of like a comic book universe. You know, I get inspired by a lot of
Mm,
people that go out there and want to do something that's like challenges the norm, right? And
yeah,
I've
yeah.
always been I'm a huge comic book guy. Like I've read comic books my whole life, but there was always something about it where it's like first everyone always gets like badass powers. No one gets like shit powers. Like you don't get the opportunity to
Mm.
shoot like fucking toothpicks out of your hands or
Sky
like
high.
Yeah, well, Sky High has the sidekick, right? And that was like I
That's
always
the
thought that shit
slime.
was super funny. Yeah, someone just
Yeah,
glows purple and shit.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I've come up with all these characters. There was a character I named Code Red that was like a dude that gets bloody noses for like the spider sense. So like the more intense the bloody nose, the more like something bad's gonna happen.
Oh,
Um,
like kind of like that dude in Jessica Jones, where like he could sense if somebody's like evil, and he gets like bad headaches.
yeah. But imagine you just get a
Yeah,
fucking bloody nose, and like however evil they are, like the more intense, the more just you're
but the
fucking
but the
bleeding.
Japanese already did that. You just have to have a
But that's
beautiful
just
woman in
them
front of you.
seeing pretty girls or whatever. Um,
Hey,
Another guy was slow mo. He had the opposite power of the Flash.
yeah.
Like instead of him going like extremely fast, he literally just goes extremely fucking slow, which is not a great power to have in a hero emergency. There was a guy like
It might
Cyclops.
be good in bed though.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
There was another guy that he had like a lazy eye and he had laser vision.
Yeah.
There was a dude that was like the Flash, but he wasn't durable. So like he like had like no legs because he like ran them off. Like just a bunch like a guy that could see through his eyelids when he closes his eyes. Like so he never can like blink. Like he just can't blink. Like just a bunch of like
Mhm.
nonsense stuff. A guy that could just float, not fly, but float. Like a person that could have abnormally large thumbs. Like I wanted to do like a comedy variation of the X-Men and just
Yeah.
superpowers. Like
That
there was
you know.
I saw you were gonna say something. I
Uh,
was like, wait for you.
no, no, sorry. It's you can finish your thought. I just you said something that
I had this
reminded me of
guy.
something
He
else.
was like the main Superman version of the universe. He was just the dude. And there was just a random detective that worked for the police force that was like the guy that kind of went with him or whatever, like that would like kind of like try to ask him or
Mm.
whatever. Yeah, yeah. Am I vile is like he passes out from the lack of blood when you listen to him. Yeah, pretty much. It's just ridiculous
Yeah.
shit. So the dude, so first off, you're the audience is seen through the eyes of the detective, who's a pretty normal guy, but you end up finding out later that he does have like an ability of like puzzles, like solving puzzles, not doing stuff but solving them. So it's not like
Hmm.
a magnificent power, but it's just enough to get him by as what he does for his work. Um, the dude was this guy, and I got the idea because I thought it was really fucking funny. I was eating lunch with a friend of mine, and we were talking about like the martial arts movies of like they always have like a mystical item that someone like gives that gifts to someone else, and then it gives them some type of ability attributes, and then they turn into these cool heroes and stories. And I told my friend that I was sitting with, we were sitting at like a, I don't know if you're familiar with an HEB. Do you guys know what HEB is?
A what?
That's HEB. It's like an Albertsons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just a
Okay.
grocery store.
Yeah, it's huge grocery store. It's like huge, bro.
Yeah.
So there's one in our area.
I thought you were like talking about like a disease or something. I was like,
No.
what
HEB,
is?
the grocery store. They have one of them that's locally not too far away, a couple towns away, that has a that serves Chinese food for like their deli, and it's pretty solid. It's like a regular Chinese place. It's fucking really good. Now, what makes it even better is it's like you don't have to wait in a you don't have to go to a Chinese restaurant and get it and do the buffet. You can just get it on a plate like a Panda Express almost. Yeah,
You
you
think
see.
Panda Express is Chinese, dude?
Oh my god, what the hell? You mean the fucking walnut shrimp is Chinese? That shit is super good. So we were sitting there eating and I told him, I go, man, can you imagine if some fucking weird person just came up and put a fucking box on our table and was like, don't let them get it. The fucking state of the United States it stands on this, and then just took off running, and then two dudes in a suit like took off after him. Like, what would you do? Like, what would you fucking check the box out? Would you freak out?
I
Would you call
checked
cops?
the
Like,
box immediately,
you know what I
dude.
mean, right? You remember those
Yeah.
fucking like moments where they're like, "Oh fuck!" Like, don't open it and do this shit, and they're like, the rest of the world depends on it, and then they fucking bolt, and then like 20 minutes later, you see like the Men in Black dudes with fucking glasses or shit chasing them or looking weird, and you're looking at this thing and you're like, "Oh fuck!" You get anxious, you put it away, you take it home, you put it on your table, you're staring at it, you're like, "What is it? Who do I call? Should I call my uncle? Should I call my cousin? Should I call my friends that's in the military?" Like, it's a bunch of shit. So in the story, we had it to where the detective guy, the dude, is like a Chad, like he's like the biggest jock, piece of shit, like not a
Yeah.
good Chad, but like a huge, like fucking conceited
It's
asshole,
like
whatever.
he's a dude, bro.
Yeah, fuck in the worst way possible, dude. And it just so
Yeah.
happens that he's the person that this like goddess who created a weapon for her husband who's a god, and the guy like cheated on her, so she's like, oh fuck this guy, dude, I'm just gonna go give this to whoever, I don't give a fuck. And she just so happens to go to like a supermarket and sees this dude, and she's like, take this, don't let anyone else get it, it could mean the universe or whatever and all this stuff. And of
Yeah.
course, like the moment the guy gets to the fucking car, he opens it, grabs it, and he's just like bolted with like a Thor-esque like superpower where now he's like the ultimate being in the universe with like this fucking sword or whatever. And everyone is like, oh, I fucking hate this guy. Instead of the Fortress of Solitude, he has like the treehouse of awareness, like in the back of like his
Mhm.
mobile home house. Like he's just like and everyone that needs his like, I guess, attention has to meet him at his treehouse. Cause he's just, like I said, he's like a weird Chad guy that like just does whatever the fuck he wants. And the detective guy, like, there's a moment where he has to go talk to him, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to talk to this fucking guy. Like, he's a huge piece of shit." And you're just like living this like life through the detective eyes, where you have, I don't know if you remember the movie The Mystery Man. You remember Mystery
Yeah.
Man? The movie? Do you remember the
Yeah.
main superhero guy that gets killed, but he has like all the sponsorships on his uniform, and he looks like a race car, like
Dude, it's
he's the
been
guy
a
that gets like,
while. It's
yeah,
been a
there's a main
while.
villain. No, there's a main villain that kills like the main Superman, and he's like a
Yeah.
really good superhero. And then he gets just fucking lasered and blasted and turned to a skeleton.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
he's wearing a suit. He's wearing a superhero suit, but it's sponsored by like a bunch of like just a piece of shit, dude. Like he's not even doing it for himself. He's like, nah, bro, I'm a sponsored hero or whatever.
He
Like,
has his own YouTube channel.
yeah, dude.
Just an hour of like
Hey, what's
sponsor,
up, guys?
sponsor.
What's up? Just
This is
here.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, yeah, Craig Seattle, that fucking, what's the guy from the fucking boys with Homelander playing that fucking
Yeah,
bridge
yeah,
game? I fucking hate that commercial so much. Um, he's like that. Like he's just like a Chad. He's a piece of shit, and he just so happens to get like the luckiest break in the world and gets like the most egregious superpower that makes him like a god. And
yeah.
he runs it like an asshole, dude. Like shows up, oh hey, what's up? Bop, bop, bop. Yeah, of course, bro. Like I saved the girl. You just like you're the main detective
So
guy's just like, oh, like he's
just
vomiting all the time.
like
He's
a beginning of a Booster Gold.
way worse, dude. Booster Gold, poor Booster Gold just has the worst luck though, but he's just such a fucking like
You
nobody
don't want my
believes his life.
autograph, dude?
Yeah,
I'm
and
not.
he's like,
I'm
who the
not the
fuck is
Green
that
Lantern,
guy?
bro.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, it was. That was one of the characters I came up with, and
Yeah.
it just all of these like weird. I always wanted like more realistic, I guess you could say, and I didn't want the boys because I think the boys is fucking horrible. I'm not really into
The comics were okay, but it's just like, well, like it's
like no, I'm not
always
into like the
a
perverse comic
derivative
books at all.
character.
I'm not into
Yeah,
those
no,
like perverse story comic books.
I think in the beginning, like comic here and there was fine.
Yeah,
Of like
like
what's
it
it
was like Kick
called?
Ass.
Yeah,
Yeah, like where it has like
but
egregious violence, but they still
well,
have
like
like hearts
it's
of
not about the
gold
violence. It's about like the deconstruction of a character.
of
Like
the character.
Superman.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't like I understood, injustice or the deconstruction of Superman because like
yeah,
what if a regular guy got Superman powers and had like a crappy, which
attitude or whatever.
we kind of got that in like what if comics and even in
Mhm.
Smallville actually when they do like
The
what if
red kryptonite.
Lionel Luthor like um Clark Kent gets transported in a different like is it a dimension or a universe, but in a timeline where Lionel found the ship and it wasn't Jonathan Martha Kent, and he just raised this
Oh,
evil
Red Sun,
tyrant.
practically
Yeah,
Red Sun.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much Red
Um,
Sun. Yeah,
but not in the Soviet stuff. But
Bright Burn or whatever that fucking movie was with the
yeah,
kid.
yeah. But oh, I was gonna say like what you remind me of, like those talks where like you're like, oh, what superpowers would you have or whatever, and every time somebody said flight, I was like, oh, this person doesn't think because it's
Well,
like
that's like the teleporting one or
well, no, no, no,
invisible.
no.
Like,
Teleporting and invisibility makes way more sense because flying, everybody associates flying with speed. I'm like, dude, if you
well, I
fly as
mean, but
fast
then
as you
again,
can run, you're gonna get shot down. If you're not
No, but
flying
everyone
at
that chooses
Superman speed,
fucking teleportation or fucking invisibility just wants to see people naked.
oh, my thinking was just like rob a bank, so you never have to
Oh,
worry
that's the other
about
one too.
it.
It's just bad debauchery. If you're gonna fly, you're just gonna go up. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you get shot, like, oh fuck, that sucks. But all the other ones are based on debauchery though. Like if you ever ask someone about those two, that's always debauchery. It's always like, no man, I want to go see these chicks, or like, oh no, I want to rob a bank. No one's not like, I'm gonna save. You can't think of anything you can save someone. Maybe teleporting, but you would have to like stock a plane and maybe it go down and then you save everybody in it, or a boat,
Yeah, it depends how it works. Like if you touch something, like can you teleport
like
with them,
jumper.
or
Oh,
like
like jumper.
if you touch something that touches somebody else, like can you
Can you
teleport all of them? Like,
imagine? Can you imagine it being like just you? Like how shitty that would be. Like every time you
oh,
teleported, you wouldn't take
if
like
you're
clothes
somewhere
or
like nobody, oh, like freaking
yeah, because
Terminator, just getting naked. I
yeah,
was
you would
thinking,
just because technically you
you
can't make the
see,
items you touch.
you're that kind of dude. You're a problem. I was thinking like, oh man, it would suck to be in a terrible situation where like your family's on a boat, the boat's sinking, you could teleport, but you can't teleport them. I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
that. You're like, so what if you show up naked?
No, no, no. I'm serious because that's because then again, if you cannot touch things to take, how are you going to take anything on your body when you teleport other than yourself?
Yeah, well,
That has to be
yeah, but
established
like
like right at the beginning, dude.
that's the same conversation we've had, like people have had about Mystique. How the freak can she copy clothes?
Wait, what? What? Oh, what?
Mystique. Like
Oh
how
yeah,
can she copy
that's the thing.
clothes? Like
That's then it has to be skin.
yeah, yeah.
Right? So that means even when she like teleports to be Wolverine and she's like blocking his claws, the fucking claws would be like rubbery because they would just be bone and skin. He would cut through that
Hmm.
shit so fast.
Well, like they did it on the first X-Men, and then but like she had
It
no
didn't make
injury other
sense.
than the stab. Like like or or is it what she sees or what she thinks? Is that how she
In
can
the comic books, she has to know
think?
the character in the comic
Yeah.
books. So like most of the time when she takes over someone's body, it's someone that she could see and knows something about them. Not
Hmm.
like personality or whatever, but
Like
that's to
I've
record the mouth, the voice.
and that's I think a lot of like a lot of people don't think about the handicaps that somebody needs to have to not be overpowered, because there's a power system you need to create before giving people powers. Like I've always loved that Nightcrawler was he was literally going through hell for a time
Yeah, there's a
to
portal, right?
go yeah, to go to wherever he wants to teleport. So if he slows down, Mephisto, Mephistopheles can actually bring him to hell and
Mm-hmm.
control him. So it's like no, like Cyclops with the glasses that he can't control the
What
lasers.
comes
Like there,
out? Yeah.
yeah, there's like obvious handicaps,
Unless he has the dial,
you know.
dude.
Yeah,
Just doesn't make
and
any
like
fucking sense to
and
me.
you could say like, oh, Magneto doesn't have a handicap, um, but he kind of does. He's not perfect. Like he's like that's why he can touch rope, because it's magnitude. It's not just metal,
Mm.
which it's an issue if it's like a poison or something. He is gonna attract certain things. Like he's
But that
not
was my
going
big.
to.
That's like me when it comes to like continuity and shit like that. Like if Superman and Lois were like in a relationship, Clark and whatever, she's literally kissing like a steel wall all day because there's no way that his skin moves. So it's like because she's very
Well,
a soft
I
person.
I would say it's more like he has to the and not the comics. Shows have done that better than the comics, where like they explain that he has to focus. He
Focus
has
like,
he
but he
like he
can't
has
make
to.
himself
No,
softer.
no, no. He can he flexes in a certain way, the way slowing down his speech and his face, and like it's kind of like Luke Cage. Like no, there was one that I think it was Smallville. They talked about how his skin is like it's pretty much similar to Luke Cage, where like it's indestructible, but it could still move. It just can't be penetrated by the
I don't
bullets.
think, dude.
You know?
He's literally his hair can hold a ton of weight.
No,
Like
yeah, yeah, but it's like it can still be moved. It's malleable. It's kind of like a gummy bear. If you can stretch it, and then there's gonna be a point. If you're strong enough, it's going to expand. But
I
like
don't know.
you should have you seen the
It's
have you?
this is a very
Sorry, go ahead.
difficult like thing for people to explain to me because then you have to show me that there's somewhere like in the overarching context where someone can go up to him and be like, and it move. Other than that, all I've seen is bullets bounce off of him.
Well, it might be due to speed and flex. You know,
Maybe.
like
So he's like that cornstarch experiment where you put cornstarch in water and you like tap it and it's like hard, but then you go slow, it's soft.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, but like the thing is, the point is it's not penetrating. Like nothing can penetrate his skin. You know, nothing can really cut him up unless there's kryptonite.
Yeah,
But
because he's
but
allergic.
but it's like, you know, a bulletproof vest. You shoot it, it's not gonna penetrate you, but you're gonna feel it. Like your body's gonna move. Like that's like it was one of my issues with the John Wick suits. They're really cool in concept, but you'd be bruised all over. You're gonna pass out after getting shot at so
Yeah,
many
yeah,
times.
yeah. That's why it's a
You know,
fucking fake movie,
it's
dude.
still gonna yeah, yeah, but like
It's just,
the first one did it really well. It's just later on it became more like spectacular. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
It's
More
pretty much what it is
fantastical.
with the Spider-Man shit because of the
Yeah,
Superman.
but like for Superman, I always thought it that way. It's like, oh, that yeah, his skin is gonna be soft, but you try to rip it, it's not gonna, you know, you try to stab it, you try to shoot him, nothing's gonna do it. You can't scratch him, it's not gonna work. But you touching him, he's like it's still like a human body. He's not literally made of steel.
No, no, no. But that's the thing is like since his physiology at the atomic level is just not human and is based off of this thing that's that hard. It's not an ability. Like he just is that. That's like when a bus hits him. Like when or like let's say what was the Superman movie with Brandon Roth when they pull the fucking machine gun out and they're shooting and it touches his eyeball?
Yeah.
Remember that? Like he didn't flinch because it didn't feel like anything, which is like if a piece of very
Oh, so you
small
think like
fabric,
it should have pushed his eye back a little
yeah,
bit
that
and then it come out?
100%, but it didn't. It
Okay.
did not because his body is stronger than any material that is on Earth, technically. So if a bullet touches his eyelid, which is to a human one of the most sensitive parts, that should have at least made him go, oof, ow, ooh. No, but it didn't.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
like I think that's why he has to
That would have hurt like
pretend.
a bitch.
I think that's why he has to pretend.
As what?
You know, that like when he's Clark Kent, he pretends to be hurt or get something in his eye, all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff.
but that's
Or
what that
trip.
goes back to the idea. That,
But I get what your point is.
yeah.
And I just think that's one of those things that as a comic book fan it's fun to talk about,
Yeah.
but it's one of those really like
It's
really
niche.
nitpicky thing where it's like, you know, if I see a human and I shake their hand, you know, if I shake Superman's hand, I can't crush it. I can't crush the bones.
Yeah, it would feel like you were grabbing something that
he's
felt like
going
metal.
to allow you to bend it. He's
Yeah,
thinking
he's gonna
about it,
be
you know.
soft. It's gonna be
Yeah, yeah.
soft. Yeah,
Like
it's like when a baby grabs your hand. The baby's not like squeezing the shit out of you, but you like
yeah,
you
yeah.
soften for it. But
Well,
when we
yeah.
touch him, he should feel like a steel statue. Like we shouldn't feel a softness to him because even like his hair follicles, they hold a ton. We wouldn't
Yeah,
be
but
able
who's
to move
touching
that.
them, dude?
Yeah, everybody when they hug him and they're like, "Oh my God, Superman" or whatever. Fucking Lois Lane's kissing him. I mean, fuck, dude, she's just kissing semen.
Man, but that's the thing. Like, I would never think that. I would just think like, oh man, this dude is muscular.
Yeah,
As
because
hell,
it's too deep.
you
This
know?
is what I'm telling you. This is how my brain works.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
how I write characters. They have to suffer at every point that means it. It's got to go all the way down to like the minuscule objective.
Yeah. Okay.
So like, this is the way my brain. So when I write my characters, I'm very, very cynical. I have this character that I wrote out. His name's Carbon, and he controls like Magneto, the factor of carbon, like the molecule, which is it's literally everything. Carbon literally connects every molecule or atom together. So he could demolecularize the Earth and the planets and all this stuff. After he gets off planet, it could change. There could be other planets that don't have carbon. It could be another molecule. But on Earth itself, he can control the factor of what controls everything at an atomic level. And he's like a rash fucking 17-year-old kid that's just intelligent. It's like a Edward what's the kid from? He's like Edward from Full Metal Alchemist. Like very like he's rash, he's heroic in some sense, but
he has an immaturity to him.
yeah, there's a really and he grows up in this area where it used to be a lush community when his powers in his when he becomes an adolescent teenager, his powers activate in life, and he wipes out
Yeah, yeah.
his entire city, turns it to sand, and that turns into Nye County, which is where where they tested the atomic bomb. So like I
Okay.
made it to where like I try to make it to where it all relates to like real places in the earth and the
Okay.
planet.
So okay, cool.
So
Yeah, it's interesting.
yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. Like I love writing and I like creating stories and stuff like that. That's why
I
it's really
I wish I had the money
oh, it'd be cool.
to
Yeah, yeah.
stop and actually write this stuff
Yeah, no.
because everybody says like, oh, I wish I had the time. Like, no, I wish I could just pay my bills through what like YouTube or something, and like I
Yeah.
can just write all
Well, I mean,
day
the idea would
and
be
then
like in
hang
a
out with my
nowadays world,
family.
right? The idea would be like in a nowadays world is like you do your job, but when you have your days off, like just don't fuck around. Like don't go off
Well,
and just
yeah,
sit there,
like,
spend 1 hour or 2 hours of writing, and then every day you'll get shit done.
well, like that's the thing with me is like, okay, if
Getting the hour.
no, my kids have to be asleep. I feel so guilty doing anything while they're awake if I'm
By the
home.
way, yeah, if you're
So
not paying
like I go to
attention.
the gym at like at 5 if I can, or jujitsu has to be when they're asleep. Sometimes when they're asleep, either at night or in the morning, and then I got to give time to my wife. Like I can't treat her like a business,
Hmm.
and sometimes
Sure.
I really fail at that too. Like it's like, oh, I got to focus on making money or whatever. Like, and it gets to you. So like, and I have all these other hobbies, even reading comic books, man. Like a friend of mine gave me a comic book to read that I still haven't read, and I think it's a Flash comic that he really wanted me to read, and it's been like almost a year that I've had it,
Mhm. You haven't even read it.
and I haven't even opened the first page. Like, don't have time. Like I'm reading other books, I'm working on other projects. I got to make money. It like it's just it's one of those things
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that
It's just
like
life.
yeah. And it's I don't think, and that's the thing, it's not that anything's hindering me because I don't consider it a hindrance. Like I want to spend time with my kids, my
Of
family.
course.
Like I'm really my son is starting to learn to read, and I'm really excited to introduce comic books to him because then I can actually read it. But the other thing problem is that I have to know the comic before
Yeah,
he
before you
reads
explain
it.
it to them.
It's the same thing I do with shows or
Yeah, you
movies.
got to
Like
know what it's
I need
about.
I need to make sure there's no bullcrap messaging, no political bullcrap that's
Yeah,
going to be like make him question like what's a gay, what's a freaking trans, what's all this
yeah.
stuff, and it's like you are 5 and you don't need that stuff in your mind right now.
Mm.
You need to be worried about when's nap time, when do I get my snacks, when
Yeah.
can I play Superman,
How do I
when can
how do
I
I go number one and two?
yeah, yeah,
They're
like
like diaper training and shit, right?
like how like how do I learn to ride a bike? you know like that's the stuff he needs to worry about.
Yeah, those are the things he needs to be focusing on. Um,
Yeah.
one last topic before we end up falling out. This will be a good long topic. Paramount wins. The WB merger and all that stuff is coming.
Well,
This is
what
something.
what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, uh, I know that there's like this whole concept of like politics and all. So me and Brian knows this because he studies this a lot, which is good. Frankly, for what it's worth, WB wasn't making films that were good anyways. So like, if they have to pass the
Mm.
reins to someone, because and then again, it's like WB for what it's doing was in the same concept as we were talking about with Sony, where there's like they have to check boxes and Star Wars, and there's like they want to win Oscars, so they have to do
Yeah,
certain things, and
yeah,
you know
like
what I
the
mean. Like
Odyssey, you see that,
now,
you
yeah,
know.
now there's the concept of like Brian was talking about, like fuck, like Paramount got bought out by these dudes, or Paramount bought out WB. It leans right leaning. I guess Netflix is left leaning and WB was left leaning, or I don't get it all of this shit when I break it down because I don't really know too much about those individually.
Hmm.
But whatever WB was doing and whatever side it sat on, or
Wasn't
whatever,
working.
it wasn't fucking working. It was shitting on itself. It wasted money. Whatever message it was saying fucking lost its whole complete message and lost its money, lost its whole studio, and they
Yeah,
needed
yeah.
to be bought out. If they would have gone to Netflix, it would have stayed in the current situation, which means it would have continued to suck. Now we have a company, right leaning or whatever it is, that bought it, but we don't know what they're capable of
Well,
making because they've never
here's
had
the
the chance.
here's the thing on that.
Mhm.
I think everybody's very focused on the right leaning, left leaning. Okay,
Yep.
the CEO, right leaning, I guess,
Right leaning.
just because he likes Trump and their friends or whatnot. But the company itself, it's kind of like Kathleen Kennedy leaving Lucasfilm. Nothing's changing because Kathleen Kennedy wasn't the only problem. 50% thinks like Kathleen Kennedy. And
Hmm.
this guy is he's merging companies. Heads are going to roll. People are going to get fired, right? But he himself, especially after a purchase, he's going to be under major scrutiny. He's going to be like, people are going to have a watchful eye because this isn't Disney where he's making money off parks. That this is a production company that they make money off box office hits,
Yeah,
and
they got to
that's
make it
it.
work. They have to make movies that
So
work.
so and I'm not saying they're gonna make good movies or bad movies. I'm saying they've made garbage like Halo. Okay,
Yeah.
that you can't tell me that was
No, it
right leaning.
sucked. It sucked. Yeah.
They've done, but they've also done things good like Tulsa King. They've done things good like Landman. They also did Star Trek,
Oh, the new
all the
Star Trek shit that they're
garbage,
fucking up.
super gay, trans, whatever,
Yeah. So I don't
super
know
left
how
leaning
right leaning they
trash.
think this system
So
works when they're doing that
the
shit.
yeah, so it's like, okay, the CEO might be right leaning. He's definitely friends with Trump. Cool. But I think in terms of that friendship of what's going to be really involved, as in like Trump maybe having some influence, is
Hmm.
CNN, because now Paramount owns CNN.
Yep.
That like I'm gonna go through the list of everything that Paramount will control. Okay, so HBO and HBO Max, CNN, CBS, DC Studios, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, Paramount Plus, Nickelodeon, MTV, Showtime, TNT, Comedy Central, Turner Classic Movies, TCM, DC Comics, and they'll also have Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Trek, Mission Impossible, Transformers, The Conjuring, A Quiet Place, Mortal Kombat, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, Beetlejuice, Gremlins, SpongeBob, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and Dora the Explorer. That's a pretty big list, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I just said
Kind of
CBS.
makes you wonder with all that list
So
and all that hype and all that stuff how the fucking company fucked it up in the first place.
again, Warner Brothers was always the stupidest company.
I'm only
Disney's the
saying.
most evil.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers is the dumbest.
Yeah.
Now, here's where the problem lies. They have a monopoly on nostalgia. Okay, they have, other than Star Wars, because the Marvel, the MCU isn't nostalgia yet. It's a new thing. But you're talking about a whole generation that grew up with Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and then the newest thing, the only thing they've been doing well is House of the Dragon, and that's like 60-40,
Hmm.
Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So they're gonna control that. And I would say Warner Brothers did the at least most of the animated DC movies pretty well.
Hmm.
That's what was like making them real money, versus, and also things usually to do with the Batman, including comics. Um, but the problem is that they have all this power now, and nostalgia is a big thing in the past, since the past 10 years, where people want to feel, and we could go into the psychology of, Generation X or whatever, Gen Z and all that
Gen Z and
stuff,
Gen
where,
X, yeah.
yeah, where they're not solving problems no more. They just want to feel good, and like they're trying to gravitate towards what how they grew up and all that stuff. So they have an extreme amount of power when it comes to producing new stuff. Like they could wipe Disney and Netflix off the map now with the lineup that they got. Again, there's things that's already in production. Harry Potter, they're definitely doing, woke stuff. Now, but also having all this, they are now in partners with Universal and their parks. So that's something that nobody's really talking about. So there is a possibility that they could do deals with Universal in terms of movies, and
Hmm.
in terms of like, when a movie doesn't do well, they could get some money off the parks. But there's also the possibility of Universal now being able to adapt towards their theme parks more stuff that they couldn't own before, but or couldn't utilize before. But I think it's a very big gray area. I don't think this was the worst outcome at all. I think the best outcome you could have gotten was if Warner Brothers stayed the same. But I think this is a pretty good outcome because everything is on the table. James Gunn job, everybody, it's on the table. We don't know if they're going to reboot DC again. We don't know if they're going to try to um, live up to we know they're going to continue the projects that are currently being filmed or in production, like Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, that stuff.
Well,
But
how is that a thing, right? Like that's a good concept too to talk about, right? You look
what?
at Star Trek, you look at all these companies, you look at all these places that have already gone through kind of like the wokeism branding, rebranding of their
Hmm.
characters, right? Star
Yeah,
Wars or Star Trek is getting fucking hammered right now on their bullshit that they just created.
yeah, yeah.
Nobody likes it. And it's not even like that's not even speaking like some political spot. That's just it's garbage.
It's not even it's not like the wokeness isn't even the worst part. It's just it sucks so hard. The dialogue, everything, it is just straight trash. That's what makes
Well,
it a bad show. Not even the wokeness on it.
well,
It's just
even going
garbage.
into deeper subjects, right? Like that would be like Rings of Power. Rings of Power was not a great representation of the Lord of the Rings or Tolkien's work, right? But they win and they made a
Oh, it
second
was
season, and the
sacrilege.
second season was just as bad. Okay.
Yeah, but it's a $1 trillion company.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
And
You can do a bunch of
Jeff
shit and fuck up,
Bezos
and it's all right.
Jeff Bezos said he wanted this to be Amazon's Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, if you do any research, the reason Game of Thrones exists is because of Lord of the
It's
Rings,
because of Lord of the
and
Rings. Yeah.
George R. R. Martin is freaking retarded.
Yeah. So you
Like
have all of these moments right now where it's
yeah.
like Harry Potter. We're just talking about the Snape situation where it made a huge stink that people were like, "Oh, it's gonna suck." Like Harry Potter's not even old for them to need a rebranding, or a remake of it. It sounds so ridiculous to hear it.
Well,
But
here's
it's
the
like,
thing. It's a gamble that would have been either their worst decision or their best
I
decision.
think it's the worst decision. I think
Like
it's a
no,
shit
no, but like
idea because you're sitting
let's
on
say
the.
they no because so let's say because they're in terms of Harry Potter itself, they had the same costume designers, and it said that they were going to keep the same structures from the books, like Hogwarts. All of it's going to look the
Mhm.
same, and they were going to be more faithful to the books, as in like pretty much page for page. That's what they said. Obviously, with the casting, and again, the actors are not at fault. They themselves are not the problem. It's the studio doing race swaps,
Yeah,
like
of course.
thinking that they know more than J.K. Rowling by not having. It doesn't matter what your political leaning is. Like she's alive and she wrote this stuff. Go get her thoughts on it. And then they said they're gonna add things that don't even exist in the books. And
Mhm.
so, like when we hear that kind of stuff, we know they're not caring about it being faithful and caring about the fans. They're just like, we're gonna put a product out there with this name, and it's gonna have, you know, like similarities, but you have to like it. It doesn't matter. Like we don't care about you. We just care about making something and forcing you to like something. That's pretty much that. But
Mhm.
in terms of um like the political parts of all these shows,
Chris Parker. That's funny.
yeah, like the CEO himself can't be in every single thing.
Mhm.
So we're guaranteed to get some things are going to be woke and some things are going to be right, but we're also guaranteed to get things in the middle. That's why the
Mhm.
Paramount thing was so good because Netflix only hires people that are aligned with Netflix. Paramount and Warner Brothers have a vast number of people and they have so many properties now that they have to just hire somebody and then they have to present a plan and allow them to execute those plans. Now, like one of these things will be tainted for whatever reason, whatever political ideology
Mhm.
is going to happen. Like we hope it's not going to be DC. We hope it's not going to be Lord of the Rings, like the big ones for you personally. But most likely one of these is going to be completely tainted, ridiculous, bad writing and politically leaning. And it's bad either way. You shouldn't lean either side of the political spectrum. You should
Mhm.
be in the middle. You should have some nuance and but things not be explicit. Like people say that the James Gunn Superman in itself isn't political. Yes, but they're so stupid that they put in a line like James Gunn's brother said. Well, the liberals and conservatives can both agree Lex Luthor is an idiot or whatever, or is a douchebag or something like that, or a
Hmm.
hole. And it's like you didn't have to say it like that. You could have said, "Well, I at least the everybody in the world, regardless of how you think or who you are, we can all agree that this guy's an a hole or a douchebag." That that already encompasses everybody, and it's not politically choosing because their mentality is like the only people that live in the world is either right or left, which
Hmm.
that's not true. But it's their way of thinking, so
It's the way of
that's the
thinking.
only way they know how to write, and that's a huge problem. At least James Gunn's side. Now,
Well, that's the problem with the whole studio failing in the first place.
um, yeah. So Brian, like, there's billions in the hole. Now, the only way to make their money back is first banking off the stuff that's currently in production. Okay. Now, it also depends on taxes and if you are accumulating their debt as well, because that's something that wasn't explicit in the purchase. If they are accumulating Warner Brothers current debt, if they're accumulating Warner Brothers current debt, it's actually good for Paramount because then they could file it and get I forget what's the legal term of the financial term for it, but pretty much like it's like a Chapter 11 bankruptcy type deal. Now, there's various ways of making their money back. They could start picking and choosing all the things they don't like and selling that property to another studio. So, like now they have that monopoly. Let's say they don't want Cartoon Network. Hey, Netflix, you want to buy Cartoon Network? This is the price.
Hmm.
And then what happens is that they could borrow money after that purchase because, like, hey, look, we just bought this, but we also made this, and we didn't even put a product out. We This is how much we're worth now because the worth of the company is a fake number. That's why Warner Brothers was so expensive is because the CEO announced all these projects, and because of that announcement, stock went up, right?
Sure.
Um, the I think it's a really good outcome for um in terms of DC Comics. I really think it is because now it doesn't come from a place. Even if James Gunn is still in charge of it, James Gunn actually has to hire the right people and make it a universe because he can't just bank off money. Like he doesn't have the contract that he had before. So we're still gonna get the James Gunn Green Lantern, James Gunn Supergirl, and if since those were filmed and created before the purchase, those also can be write-offs. Uh, Not
Like
without
tax
diluting the
write-offs.
product. This wasn't about making money. It was a pissing contest, and listen, didn't want to lose. It's I can't say that. I would say I don't know how the guy thinks. There's always a way of making money, even if I can't think of it. In my mind, it's it's um it's selling off the stuff that they don't think they can make work and keeping the stuff that they currently have and making other contracts. Like let's say Warner Brothers goes to Universal or creates their own theme parks, and it's all DC stuff because Universal has the original '90s Marvel comic stuff in their contracts, and they own Hulk, um, and the MCU exists because of Paramount. So there's a lot of stuff to do, and they could also, and here's the thing, it's like renting out your properties. So they could go to Netflix and be like, "Hey, we want you to make your own separate live action DC universe TV shows. And then we're going to do a multiverse later on where both of them will cross." Or they could sell the CW over there that has the rights to DC for an inflated amount and allow other studios to keep um what's it called? To keep like may have the risk, but they're renting the properties. Like that's what they do with films and streaming services. Like, okay, one streaming service is gonna own these ones. That's like Disney Plus. They're gonna own Star Wars. It's not gonna be on any other streaming service other than maybe Amazon Prime. But as soon as it gets off one streaming service, another streaming service has to pay to have those films for a certain amount of time at their streaming service. And if it's popular, they'll pay whoever owns it more to keep it on for a longer amount of time because then they could advertise it and use it to attract more people to their streaming service. Now, here's the other thing. I hope they dissolve Paramount Plus and just put everything on HBO Max because that streaming service freaking sucks.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So if I can ask Brian and Amityville, like, what do you guys believe like you lost in this deal? Like, is it because you guys like James Gunn and where he was heading with it? Like, you just hate Paramount? I kind of want to know like your feelings on why you think this was a bad
Yeah, because I'm a little
choice.
confused as to
Yeah.
like I get the idea that they think they lost because they lost to Netflix and they wanted Netflix to win or whatever. But like
Yeah.
again, WB is in this situation that they are in because of the direction they took their films and allowing
Mhm.
weird people to run their IPs and fucking blow it all to the ground. And these are the same people and the same ideologies and the same blocks that they're check marks or whatever they call it or whatever that are going to take it into Netflix. Now they're saying the reason why it's gonna suck now is because right leaning propaganda or whatever. But WB lost because of left leaning propaganda. So what are we talking about? Like I don't understand where people are like, if you want to base it on politics, WB lost because of its political standings, because of its
Mhm.
propaganda and making televisions and shows and where it wanted to take all its stuff. It lost because of that. So if Netflix sits on the same side, it's just going to fall into the same bullshit. Netflix may have more money and not have to worry about paying back its investors or whatever the fuck, but like
Mhm.
you're just looking at the same shit. Like it's just going to sit and waddle in its same doo doo. Paramount now has to take these IPs and do something good with it. Like that's just what it is. They gotta do what the other people weren't doing. That's not why WB lost the company. That's 100% because they couldn't make money. We were just talking about this. You're asking how is Paramount going to pay back all these people? They're just because they're not going to make good movies or they're not going to make any money or whatever. And WB, we literally saw WB fuck up the majority of his shit. I mean, we shit on Superman, and that was like an iconic character for WB to have. For it to fall into the situation that it's in with James Gunn, even you complained that James Gunn running the DCU shit is ridiculous. Like this is why they lost. This is because they couldn't make money with the
Yeah,
shit they were
like
putting out.
the reason Warner Bros was losing money is because they didn't focus on story. They couldn't adapt. They didn't know what to do with their products. Like, look, they had straight competition with Disney in terms of like the most profitable movies ever created are always G-rated films. It's true. Like it's the cheapest to make and has the highest margins versus like the cost it took to make them. And they're the ones that people mostly gravitate to towards the movies, like bar none. The Warner Brothers couldn't figure out what to do with Looney Tunes. They didn't understand that they had an audience that lasted generations, that like young, old, new, teenagers, adults, all of them. They had them all, and they didn't do anything with it. That like they didn't want to trust other people to come in and do something with Looney Tunes, do something with DC, do something with Lord of the Rings. The only reason they launched that terrible War of the Rohirrim movie is because they would lose the rights if they didn't make something related to the to either the
The
Peter
previous
Jackson
Lord of the
or
Rings.
the or Lord of the Rings. No,
Yeah.
for the Lord of the Rings estate, it's the same thing as Sony and Spider-Man. Sony
Mhm.
has to consistently make something related to Spider-Man in an allotment of years, and if they don't do that, then they lose the rights to Spider-Man. It's up
Mhm.
for bid, so anybody
For
can
bids.
actually purchase the character. And so that's why, like, and video games aren't a part of that. Like, they could keep making video games every year, and it's not a part of that. They actually have to make a film. So, dude, you hate everything that every company makes, so it's not about who look, we've pointed out things I hate objectively towards writing. Did I hate Endgame when it came out? No. Do I hate Superman? No. Like, I like Henry Cavill as Superman. Is it garbage movies? 100%. Did they cash checks that they could only cash one time and like try to rush it. Like, for instance, Batman v Superman, it's a one-time check. That should have made that's $1 billion instantly. And then they tried to rush a universe, and they didn't understand that Batman v Superman is more iconic than anything their competitors have. Alone, just that alone is like the only thing that rivals that is Spider-Man. Marvel has no other heroes that is as iconic as Batman and Superman. That's coming from a guy that loves Marvel, man. Whatever, dude. You're not just busting my balls, busting everything. Wait, pause. My bad. My bad. But like, I think there is a way to make the money back. And here's the thing: we we got to remember, Superman goes into the public domain in, I think, 7 years, right? Did Superman come out in or 9 years? Came out in 1935, right? So in 9 years, it's one of the reasons like that, like somebody at Warner Bros. Talked about James Gunn's decision for the Superman suit, even though I hated it. Like, they try to implement as much as they could from every comic, so that way they have a copyright when it goes to public domain that they can't use, like a certain color or symbol or whatever, and they can
Yeah.
still maintain the character. And when you sell a product, if something is going to go to public domain, it can be delayed due to you not creating something of a product you purchased that is supposed to be profitable. So they could delay it going into public domain. There's I think, in terms of this purchase, it's the biggest variable, and I think that's more of a win than going to Netflix. Netflix we were gonna lose because we would know exactly what we were gonna get. We know exactly what we were gonna get with all this stuff from Netflix. They were just gonna pump stuff out with like look at the poster on Chris's wall, the Attack on Titans. Netflix did a live action Attack on Titans, and it was so bad they had to take it down. And honestly, out of all the things they have done in terms of
That was
anime
really bad.
adaptations, it was the easiest one they could have adapted.
Yeah, but
And they just
but wait,
yeah.
but in regards to that, at that time, the creator of Attack on Titan hadn't told anybody how the show was going to end, and it was supposed to
Hmm.
be like a full length front Attack on Titan 1 and explaining the story, or at least getting an adaptation of it. And he didn't want them to know how it finalized, so he was like, "Well, I'm going to tell you like just whatever's out on anime and a little bit more, but I'm not going to tell you anything else. So write your
Yeah.
story from there." And they fucking it was horrible, dude.
Yeah. And well, and um here's the thing, like, there's a lot of things that we can't even begin to think about with this purchase. Like, for instance, the Lord of the Rings books. Other than the Bible, it's the most translated book in history. Okay. And
Mhm.
just by slapping cover or new behind the scenes pictures on a book, instantly making money. It's gonna sell. Like, there are things that they now have the rights to that they don't directly own, but they directly make profit from.
Mhm.
Like, because the Tolkien estate has to keep printing out um,
Books.
books and novels if they choose. Like, the novels, if they don't do a certain amount of books a year, they have to actually put out novels. And then when Warner Bros. Like, hey, here's some footage, and also Peter Jackson says that there's at least an hour per film of footage at the very least that still hasn't been released. So there's a lot of stuff that they can do that we can't even begin uh, to comprehend. I think,
Well, that's the
you
thing. Like
know,
Brian says, they have rights to the books. Are you sure about that? It's not that they have rights to the books; they have
yeah,
rights
they
to
don't
the
have
IP.
rights to books.
They
Yeah,
can't change the books, which is what these guys did with Ring of Power, and it was shit. It was shit because they didn't want to.
And it
They
didn't
didn't want
sell.
to follow what Tolkien had created. They wanted to do their own thing, and they ruined it, and it fucking failed miserably. Again, now here we're in a situation again, like we don't know if these guys are capable of doing anything with these IPs because of the factor of what these people have already, like, just shit all over all of this shit already. Like, does anybody really care to see another Superman movie? No, because James Gunn fucked it up, and so did the guy who made the fucking movie or whatever. They suck. They sucked at it. Does anybody care about Bugs Bunny? No, because Space Jam was a fucking shitty movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they have
And
nothing
also, they haven't put out Looney Tunes in years.
in years, man, and that's fucking nuts to me, dude. That is
Yeah,
beyond bonkers to me
I always
because they just can't
personally
make
I've
it
always
work.
thought it was better than Mickey Mouse and all that stuff. Like,
So again, it's like your people are arguing about like the politics of who's going to do what, where the entire side of the people that are arguing that they don't want this other side to buy it have already ruined all of
yeah,
these
the
IPs on their own with their ideologies and all that stuff. Like, why is it that you guys in this concept are people that are already being like, nah, they're gonna fuck it up. Just let it take its chance. They bought it. It's what it is.
yeah, like this is the one company where we have no idea what they are
What they're
really
capable
gonna
of
do.
doing with these
We
IPs.
we have we have, like, again, DC Comics is dead. Like, they fired like, they had an empty building that they owned that they had to fire the entire staff because it was just draining money.
Yep.
Like,
Fucking
there's
nuts.
yeah, like, the in terms of making $130 billion back, yeah, it's a tall order, like, no movie's made one movie's made $130 billion. I doubt they'll make it back in a year, but what's their time frame? Like, what are the payments that they need to make? Yeah, like,
Yeah, yeah, but that's it.
like,
Brian's like, yo, they're about to bet. Well, then it's a positive for you, bro, because you don't like these guys anyways. Like,
yeah,
you know what I
and
mean?
that's the
Like,
thing. If they bankrupt Paramount, that's like, there's a certain amount of years that's gonna take. So it's not about trusting it or not. Like, I don't trust Netflix. Netflix, they're the only people that were able to profit off memberships or streaming service
what,
off
Netflix
just
or
memberships.
Paramount?
Netflix,
Oh yeah, Netflix is a fucking
but
phenomenal service.
but but Netflix, uh, they've been draining money the past year. Like, ever since they did the whole cuties thing, they've lost so many subscribers. Like, their stock went down. Like, a lot of people made a lot of money on buying that stock as soon as they put out cuties, and then it went almost back up, but it didn't equal what it was before. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying Netflix is ever gonna get bankrupt, but again, like, it's back to the whole thing that happened in 2008 and what the banks are doing, because the banks are the ones that are loaning this money out. When a
Mhm.
bank is going to go bankrupt and they can't make payments, because a bank, they're legally, they don't have to pay you money, because what you're doing when you have a bank account legally, it states that you are lending the bank your money so that they can do things with it, and it's a courtesy that you can go to the bank and withdraw your money, but you're technically making an investment, technically. So that's why if a bank um, goes bankrupt and all your money's in there, you have the potential to lose all your money,
Netflix
all of
is
it.
gonna be
You
fine.
know,
Like, the only thing they have to worry about in the sense of monies and stuff is making sure that they give monies to the studios that are under them that they have money to. And then if they create their own originals or whatever, that's what they put money into across the board, right? Like when it
look,
comes to them spending
uh,
money to create their
uh,
own stuff. And
yeah.
you're talking
Also,
like Stranger Things, like Stranger Things was fantastic. Like,
yeah.
so he says, Brian says, so wait, they bankrupt Paramount, but Netflix is the only streamings that's always in the black. And I'm supposed to trust Paramount. You don't got to trust any of them.
Look,
It's not about trust. Like,
and
they
here's the
just
thing.
won. That's
Eh,
all it
I- I'm
is.
gonna I'm gonna make 2 points. I'm gonna make 2 points. These guys don't operate in the normal world. They obviously have political connections that, bankrupt means nothing to them. They could live. So I don't believe they'll just collapse. And again, this is if that happens, and it's not gonna happen this year. They're not gonna go bankrupt this year or in the next 3 years. That's just not gonna happen. So at least we have 3 years for sure that we're gonna know what they're doing. Now, Netflix, they weren't making money when they first started. Like Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix, and Blockbuster didn't have the streaming service, but they still were making more money. Netflix is now grandfather in psychologically. Like every streaming service you go to, you're like, this isn't as good as Netflix. Or like there's something about it that's just not Netflix. Right? But Netflix isn't for the movie theater experience. Like one of the reasons why it was bad for Netflix to own it is because actors themselves couldn't make the amount of money they were making if it's out in theaters. Now, the laws changed in the past 2 years where production companies and streaming services can purchase and own movie theaters, but they're not doing that. That's more of a telltale sign that Paramount would go bankrupt versus this purchase, is because they're not going to do the box office hits because there's not going to be a box office, possibly. Now, it depends on what they allow the public to do as well in terms of fan films, in terms of merchandising partnerships. Like people can make you can make a product now and then purchase a license to from Warner Brothers. Like I want to do a Batman t-shirts and I want it to be official from Batman. You create a concept and they're like, okay, here's what it costs. Like I still haven't heard where the money is coming from. Only give them a chance where they showed they don't give a puppy they have. Otherwise, Paramount wouldn't be in. Yeah, like no, no, no. I'm not saying I know where the money's coming from. The money's gonna come from the customers. Okay, they have to entice us to buy something, right? Whether it's their movie, whether it's a toy, whether it's a product. It's simple. Somebody has money, you get that person to pay you that money. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I'm talking about possibilities. I'm not talking about this is exactly what they're gonna do to make all that money back. Have no idea. I bet they have a plan. I bet they even have a bankruptcy plan. I don't know because that's if they file Chapter 11, it's all it is restructuring. And if they have money somewhere else, like the Saudis, they could file Chapter 11, get rid of all that debt, and then start buying back the stuff that they filed Chapter 11 on. Like they could transfer who owns DC now. So if DC, like Paramount owns Warner Brothers, they don't own DC. So if they own DC, if they own Lord of the Rings, like they transfer that over, make Warner Brothers sell that to Paramount, then they could bankrupt, they could file Chapter 11 on everything else, get rid of a big chunk of debt, and then like people buy that scraps or they buy some of the scraps for a lot less than what they bought it for. Like that's a way to do it. There's a lot of ways to make money, and there's ways
Okay.
that I'm not gonna be able to think of that hopefully they have a plan for if they're the right company. I want to see in terms of creatively what they're gonna do. I'm not I think if you put out really really good products, the money will come, okay? How long and who they have to pay and what are the payments like per month or when it starts over this 130 or 40 billion or dollars or so. I don't know that. They need to make sure that they can make those payments. That's all they need to do is make those payments.
Yeah.
Like and they have time to make those payments.
Well, and
That's
not only that, they have a
yeah.
fuckload of IPs that they can just start pumping movies out. And
Yeah,
all they
and
got to do is just
yeah.
get one to work correctly. And again, like I mean, Am I Vile and Brian are in the comment section, and I know they don't like the concept of Paramount buying out this company WB
Mhm.
because they don't look at them in the same political genre because they are opposite thinking or whatnot, and that's fine. But the same company WB, if you consider it left leaning, fucked up and went bankrupt. So
Yeah.
whatever moral stature you're holding them up to, like Paramount coming in, like you're like, oh, well, they don't care. They didn't. WB didn't care. Like WB and you're saying, I don't know. Like it's weird, like the grandstand on the idea that it's like well, these guys are gonna fuck up because Netflix didn't win, and it's like, well, you don't know because we don't know what they're capable of making right now. Again, you fucking look at it. You know, Relic said earlier, he made a good point. Even though everyone's claiming that Paramount is so right leaning and all this stuff, Halo was fucking horrible and it was super woke. What was the other one you said?
Starfleet Academy, Star Trek.
The Star Trek one is super, super woke. Like so much that it's like fucking horrible, man. Horrible. Well, no, it's I know you're not saying anything about politics, but we've talked about this, and the idea is like, yes, there is this concept of left leaning and right leaning and all this other stuff, but like under Ellison are people that are still out there using the same like I don't know, like same statures and grandstanding on this, but like
Same ideology.
yeah, like so I don't understand where it's like I do understand that that one person may be what right leaning, I guess. Ellison, Brian
Yeah,
had
yeah,
told me
yeah.
about this guy. But wouldn't that be the same thing with like Bob Iger? Isn't Bob Iger right leaning?
He's definitely left leaning, dude.
Is he really? See, I don't know these guys. So like I would consider all
Well,
these
just
billionaires
look
are
at
mostly
Disney.
like,
That's his stuff.
but then again, he's not in charge of that stuff. He's just there to make money. Same thing with Ellison, because you would
You
assume
think you
okay,
think
okay, no, no, no. But just going off the
Bob Iger's
concept
just
of
there
what
to
you guys are
buy
talking about,
stuff.
you would assume Ellison would never have greenlit the Starfleet Academy, right?
Yeah.
He would have never greenlit Doom to be that bad, right?
Yeah, you're
But it's
right.
under his watch, so like, what is it that we're arguing about? Anything in the
So
sense of left or
so I
right?
think
He's not making
so
money.
what Brian is trying to figure out is how are they going to make the money back? Not about politics. And then
Well, it's
Amityville is
quality.
also,
It's quality over shit.
yeah,
That's what
I
they know what it
agree.
is. And
I
for
agree, but
whatever it was that WB was
I
pumping out
think
was
it's
shit.
more about and Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's more about how much they're in the hole and
Uh-huh.
how long it's going to take and how are they going to acquire not only all that money back but be profitable. Okay. Um like the Amityville, he said, I don't think left leaning or right leaning will make them more or less profitable. That's not true. Like we could see that even at least right now, media when it's right leaning, it's not super right leaning, and that is a refresher, even if you don't agree with it, than having something shoved down your throat all the time. Because even a lot of left leaning people have pointed out that they're kind of sick of Hollywood throwing their own politics in their face. You know, we saw like Jennifer Lawrence talk about that. We saw Oscar Isaac a little bit. We saw like a few actors come out and being like, no, like I'm that era is over and done talking about politics. We just want to put a good story. And I agree that we should keep it right in the middle. Just a story, and that's the focus. Keep our world, our our politics out of it. You could, like I said, nuance. You could put some nuance in there where it questions, but it's not explicit. Where like I don't want to know if Superman is conservative or liberal or that's like what I'm saying. I don't want to know that stuff. I don't care. I want Superman to be a hero, and I want him to have principles. You know. Um, I don't like that right-leaning CEO now owns left-leaning media. We lose I'm guessing you said bipartisan views. It's not good to have only one side of any. I agree, but almost all of Hollywood was all left-leaning. Like for instance, I'm not too keen on the Daily Wire, but the only reason they became a movie and production company is because all of Hollywood was pushing one ideology.
FBC,
Henry Cavill, the reason we don't have Warhammer right now is because like of the left leaning stuff. And maybe they're not left
Gamers
leaning,
Workshop.
but they were too scared of the left to point out that hey, we should stop trying to force people to believe something. We should stop trying to force people to be part of the same cult or religion or way of thinking. And right now we're seeing the pendulum swing back. It was all the way left, and now it's swinging back to, and we're gonna have a good, and I would say we're probably 7 years away from that, where there's gonna be a time where we get back to like good Hollywood, like action movies are action movies. It's not an action movie and a political movement. It's gonna be an action
Halo.
movie. A comedy is a comedy. It's not gonna be a comedy and political movement. Um, the I would say a lot of like here's where people forget the biggest medium that now Paramount has control over. It's the video games. The video games is where you're gonna make a lot of money. Like DC games, like just licensing it off and then just get like allowing
God, DC games
EA
have
or
been
something.
shit these last
Yeah,
several years, dude.
yeah, and like allowing somebody else to take it or use it or like just adapting more games, people are gonna buy it. If they could make one really
Like, how do
really
you
good
fuck up
game,
the Arkham games? Like, how do you fuck up the Arkham games? Like, how do you fuck up
dude.
the Arkham games? Like, that's a just a straight legitimate question. The Arkham games used to be like super badass, and then they just started implementing all of this shit stuff, and now look at them. They can't fucking the Suicide Squad, probably
Uh,
one of the worst fucking games on the
yeah,
planet.
yeah. Um, Brian, he said this is where I disagree. Like, well, Marvel is making billion-dollar movies, but they're also almost costing $1 billion. That like they don't report all their numbers and their costs, but you can track it. This when something is delayed, this is how much it's going to cost. Like right now, the Batman 2 is an extremely expensive film because we were supposed to get it last year and we're only going to get it 2 years after it's been done. The the Marvel has DC, Warner Brothers, and Paramount. They have products that can make them $1 billion.
I
Okay.
mean, but in the same concept too, like Am I Vile says, I don't like that the right leaning CEO now owns a left leaning media. We lose bipartisan
Yeah, yeah. So
views.
I just I
Not it's not good to have one side only have one side of any
no,
story.
yeah,
And then
I
Brian comes in and
yeah,
says Hollywood is left, no doubt.
yeah,
So that means it should be fine for them to acquire an IP and it still be more left leaning anyways, correct?
yeah. Like again, they bought a company. They didn't like somebody didn't just hand them a company. They hand like employees went over there, contracts went over there. All these stuff came came with it, you know. So there's gonna be left and right leaning people in your company. Regard
Yeah.
doesn't especially a big company like this, you're gonna have that, and then you're gonna have to choose to fire them. Now, Brian, again, back to the money side. Yeah, they got Avatar, Zootopia, Disney Parks, cruises. It's not just Marvel. Yeah, I know that. But what I'm saying is that the like Paramount and Warner Brothers, they have an opportunity to have stuff like that, like parks, without the liability part, because they could license their stuff off and have contracts. Like Disney, the reason Lucasfilm isn't dead is because of the Disney parks. If you took Lucasfilm just as that company alone, they've been bankrupt for a long time, but the Disney parks bail them out, right? Any movie that Disney doesn't do well on, the Disney parks bail them out. It's so much money goes through there, right? The When it comes to Warner Brothers and Paramount, they have a big issue where they don't really have like if you think about the Disney park as a bank, they don't have their own bank. That's what they need to do. They need to create one. And it's not like they lack the resources to do that. They just have to be way more creative. And again, things like Transformers, that's at Universal already. They're gonna make money off certain things. They just are. Like Universal has contracts with Paramount, so you can in terms of making money, it the best way to make money is to have zero liability and just profit, right? So that's where it comes licensing, where Hollywood is also making a shift. Like it's possible in the next few years that these production companies are going to require directors to shell out their own money to be able to make their film. And I think that would be like a great. And again, these are all hypotheticals. It's not like we'd have no concrete evidence that they're going to do this, but they're like from that rumor that I've heard like in the past years that they're going to do what George Lucas did, you know, but they're going to be forced like, oh, Christopher Nolan, you want to make more Batman, Christian Bale movies? Okay, well, you got to put your money where your mouth is, and you got to shell out some money so that way we know that you're gonna give it your all on this film, and there's gonna be you're gonna take some of the risk. Because that was a big issue of why we got crappy films. Is directors, writers, they took pretty much no risk when it came to a movie failing. They could fail a bunch of times before they get fired, you know, instead of failing once and then like you're losing money. But again, it's it's not advantageous to the conversation to talk politics. That's why I'll ask just a simple question: is how will they make the enormous money back and keep the shareholders happy? Okay, well, the shareholders all they need to see is how much they put into something and how much they got back. That's what they need to see. Like stocks, generally you make seven. What's the number that's average like 7%, and it's still the most profitable return on investment than anything else out there, gold, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody makes a film and they spent 500 million on it and they made $1 billion on that film, that's a pretty big return because they're going to look at percentage. So the shareholders are going to be happy on that part if they could do that. And again, that's focusing on the story and the marketing, right? Good story and marketing, perfect. Freaking, it's bread and butter. Um, and again, we don't know how long they have, who they're truly in debt to, what bank, who they're taking these loans from, what they're requiring Warner Brothers and Paramount to do to pay them back. We
Mm-hmm.
don't know that. And that's where I think is a problem into worrying about if it's going to go bankrupt or not. And we don't know who's also backing them all the time. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, I'm not going to go full conspiracy theorist here, but let's say, I don't care what you believe, but let's just say Donald Trump is an evil piece of crap, right? He's the current president of the United States. That means he is the most powerful man in the world right now. He could literally just take all the tax money, because we know politicians take tax money and throw it everywhere, and just give it to Edison and be like, here, get rid of that debt. You're good, brother.
Mm-hmm.
That's a possibility of how they make their money back. Not saying that's gonna happen. I'm just putting it out there that there are endless possibilities on what can actually happen and who can be controlling what and who also has the money to bail out Paramount and Warner Brothers, and why they would want that in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the Saudis, they definitely have connections with the Saudis. Paramount has connections with the
That's
Saudis,
where they
right?
borrowed from, wasn't it?
Not officially. That's like there's like other places that they borrow from too. It's not just them. So in terms of the Saudis connection as well, I don't know if it's all from connections with the Saudis, but it's not really official because they don't have to disclose where they got the money from. They don't have to say like we got it from Chase Bank or we got it from these investors and all that stuff. Like there's no, dude. Yeah, thanks for coming in. Thanks for like breaking my balls. Like I always get like I worried when somebody says like, "Man, you hate everything." I'm like, "Do I really only talk about bad stuff?" I love talking about the stuff I love, man. But either way, I think in terms of making money, it's an uphill battle, and if they focus on good content and high percentage return on what they're spending, people are like shareholders are going to be happy. Whoever they're indebted to, if they're getting paid on time, where they got a good solid company. That's all they have to do, really.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. So with me, it's like this whole concept is we already know what happened. Like it's already passed. Like it's already been acquired. These people are already going to do the business. Like, yeah, some people are going to be upset, but yeah, the company for what it's worth, it wasn't doing very great, right? That's
Yeah.
why they sold out in the first place.
Yeah.
And
And
I was kind of considering like I'm not really like familiar with all the IPs, just a couple of them, and most of the
yeah.
ones that you've mentioned were done by people with the ideologies that we all complain about in all the films that we've seen that we've been complaining
Mhm.
about. So it's like whatever it is that they're doing creatively to embark on this idea that they have to do all of this like jargon that they're always putting in their films. Like, I'm tired of that shit, dude. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
again, I just had the longest, like the shortest, longest conversation that like fuck AMC and going to the movies. Like,
Yeah,
give
like
us movies that
I'm
we
not
want to
happy that
see.
like they got a government bailout. Like that's our tax money that could have been used for like you're gonna use that to save a movie theater, a company that freaking failed.
Mhm. Yeah, give us money,
Like
movies we want to just fucking
I'm
see
not
already.
for government bailouts.
Yeah, you see, I
If
am Files like I haven't been to the movies in years. I can't even remember the last movie I saw, and I wasn't even happy about it. I was super fucking disappointed, dude.
dude,
Like,
the last one I went to theaters was actually the Two Towers because it was released on IMAX and Mutant Mayhem, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
yeah,
Mutant
but you
Mayhem.
see, like these companies had to bamboozle you with bringing some
Yeah,
nostalgic
yeah,
movie to get you back in the
it's true.
seats.
Like
You know
you
what I mean?
saw it with
Like,
the popcorn buckets, like they had to do all the like I think it was Dune that did it first, right?
mhm.
They did like the weird like sand vagina popcorn bucket, right?
Yep, I
And
do.
then it was like people like that got traction online and promoted the movie more than I think the trailers did. It was like, dude, we got to go get some popcorn. And that's the thing. They cater to collectors. And if you do
I
that, if you
guess.
cater to the fans who are going to like just look at both our our studios other than the guns over there like
Mhm.
in terms of the nerd stuff. Um we're the ones that are going to spend hundreds if not thousands of dollars on action figures, comics, posters, whatever freaking else like physical media. Like we're going to collect that stuff like if it doesn't make sense to be a collector, but we love that stuff, so therefore we're gonna go after it. Those that's if any company wants to succeed, you cater to those the people who love you. You don't go and try to kill the old audience to get a new one.
Yep.
That's retarded. And the like again, if Warner Bros. And this is I don't think this is gonna happen. If Paramount as a whole takes all these properties, all they need to make is $20 billion a year. That's as a whole. That's video games, that's toys, that's clothing, that's licensing, that's TV shows, that's the streaming service, that's their the movies, that they launch. They need to make $20 billion a year in order to have some profit so that they could pay their bills and show the margins. Now, again, that depends if they are only spending half of that. If they're spending 20 billion to make 20 billion, that's that's a problem. And the first thing before any bankruptcy or any problems is a change in the CEO. That's the first thing that happens. The like bankruptcy is one of the last things. Like look how many times Warner Brothers changed stuff around and they never really filed bankruptcy and sold off properties.
Mhm.
Like dude, they've been surviving. Warner Brothers has been surviving for a long time.
Yep.
Like they were lucky with HBO with Game of Thrones. They were freaking lucky, dude. And they're, I would say, one of the luckiest companies. They're not, they, for sure, for me, one of the dumbest companies to ever exist. But they're also one of the luckiest. It's been
Yep.
around for freaking ever.
Yep. So yeah, we're gonna have to just see and wait. I mean, and now it's just a patience game until they let
Yeah.
everything kind of like fold over, and we'll
And
see where
again,
it goes from there, man.
this stuff is all stuff that they currently own, and that's the nostalgia stuff. It's also not stuff that they are going to, because they also talked about creating original stuff. They
Hmm.
could still make their own stuff. So, but this is making money from all this stuff because they have to make money from Paramount and Warner Brothers, and then get original things in there that don't exist yet.
True that. True
Yeah,
that. So yeah, we'll have to see where it goes from here, man. Excited to see the future, what it holds. Don't really know what's coming, but we'll have to see how it waits. So yeah, what do we got going on this week for you, Relic?
for me, more live streams. I mainly do live streams. I am going to probably do like study a little bit more about this Paramount stuff and I mean, I'm currently editing a video that's probably gonna take a few weeks about taxes and politics. That's like kind of dispels arguments on both sides, so that like they don't really need to exist. But it would be like my first political video. I usually only do like comic book stuff and whatnot. I have a video out about the Lantern show. I no longer have hopes for it. Just from it was the one show I had hopes because I'm like, oh, 1,000 different Green Lanterns, wacky characters. That's in space, James Gunn wheelhouse, right? But then I
Yep.
remember like a year ago he had an interview with uh with some dude, and he said there's not gonna be 1,000 Green Lanterns. It's gonna be on Earth, and like he doesn't even like we don't at that point we didn't even know if they were gonna have suits, but it was yeah. So like yeah, but this week is just I'm gonna be mainly doing a lot of live streams. I might be Big Ford Entertainment has invited me to crap on the um Robert Pattinson's The Batman because I think that film is egregious and stupid.
Wait, who invited you?
Big Ford Entertainment.
What's that? Who's that guy?
He's a super solid guy. I met him through the Spoiler Kings,
Nice.
and he has a channel, and he I think he does delve into politics. I don't really delve into politics that in terms of like always talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I reference them, but I try to stick it to nerdy stuff, and that's what I got going on this week.
Sweet, dude. Well, shit. If you guys are gonna talk shit about Batman, maybe you give me an invite. I'll go talk shit with
Hell
you.
yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
Batman. God, that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Vampire
good.
Batman.
We are in fight camp, so I got a bunch of my guys at the gym, and we're getting everybody ready for some fights. We're gonna be doing Fury in May, so Fury's
Oh,
like
nice.
Fury's a pretty big fight card. They're like the leading MMA pro card in Texas, and I got two of my guys, one amateur, one
Yeah.
pro. It'll be my guy's debut back from even before Corona when he fought, so it'll be a
Oh,
good
hell yeah.
opportunity for him to come back. So,
Yeah.
other than
I need
that,
to find a new gym.
yeah. Oh, is
I
that what you're
need
doing?
Yeah, like well, it's also like I don't really have the money to keep paying the monthly jujitsu subscriptions, right?
A lot,
And
man.
I did find a new gym. The owner even invited me. Super cool guy.
Hmm.
Um, but like I don't want to take advantage. Like, oh, I'm gonna do all these free stuff, and then like let him know I can't pay, and I'm also like the job hunt is freaking ridiculous right now. I've gotten so many job offers, but they're like, I had one that's like, we want to hire you in 6 months. I'm
Yeah,
like,
like
oh,
in
great. Let
like
me just
3
scratch my
years, man, we'll
butt for
get you.
6 months, dude. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's been a freaking roller coaster, man.
of course.
Like my wife was like, why don't you just like go open your own business again? And I'm
That
like,
almost seems like
that's
the only opportunity left, right?
yeah. It's just like I don't want her to go through, you know, like I'm not gonna get into it, but like
It's just life,
those are
bro. It's
yeah,
understandable. Tough.
like people some people know I had a Lego store, got screwed out of it, and was left with a ton of money
Yeah.
um at the table and just trying to pick back up. And I just want to get a solid job, and then that will fund future projects where I don't have
Yeah, of
to
course.
risk anything else. And I got a wife and 3 kids to take care of, so
Okay, so I want to
you
just
know
put this out there right now
yeah.
for talking about what we were talking about. When Marvel got bought from Disney, they spent 4.24 billion dollars
Wait,
to the
424 or 4 point?
4.4 billion dollars to kind of like round it
Yeah.
out financial calculations.
Yeah, and Marvel made 22 billion.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they've kind of made half of their worth within
Mhm.
the time frame of that to this, right? 2009. Okay. So that's not too bad. That's a good up and coming because if he's due for like
Yeah, but that's Marvel alone.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was gonna say like that's by itself. Me and Brian, we talked about this privately, and I was like, dude, how much did Marvel get bought out for? And we didn't. I think we overglossed it. But can you imagine for like buying Marvel for that amount and then acquiring like the Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, uh, fucking DC for 111 million or $1 billion. That's
Game
crazy.
of Thrones.
Yo, man, Game of Thrones, dude. Like, yeah, that's That's pretty Harry Potter.
No,
I mean,
honestly, I think it was pretty freaking cheap, man. Like
yeah,
they
if you
also
think
have a
about it,
second
right? Like,
streaming service,
I was gonna
you
say, I
know.
was like, that doesn't sound like it sounds crazy. Like when you think about like fucking Marvel got bought by a
They
fucking chunk load of money.
they pretty much have everything related to like kids media. Nickelodeon,
Yeah.
Cartoon Network,
And Nickelodeon's been shit on for
um,
the last several
Looney
years, and it
Tunes.
even
Yeah.
had like it was even being brought up on like the child like sex offending
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
inappropriateness with younger children. So like Nickelodeon is like by far probably one of the most like horrendous like channels and studios on the market right now with how much problems they built with. So like
What did Brian say? They bought for 111 billion, and the debt already amassed. The math is what math?
I think he's talking about the when they acquired like since they acquired the fucking Paramount or Paramount acquired WB for 111 million, like
Hmm.
they're automatically going to be taking the debt of whatever. Yeah, that's the whole point of them acquiring the thing. They want to pay off what it is and then build from it or whatever. So they have to make that work. Like, yeah, that's just all it is. They just have to make it work,
Well,
right?
Amityville, if you wanna know about the taxes stuff,
Jump on with him.
like and subscribe, man. My
Yeah,
father was well, I
accountant.
guess he still is. He was accountant. He was the CFO for Rodizio Grill for 21 years. I don't know if you know it was the first Brazilian steakhouse in the US, where the guys carry around the meats.
Hmm.
And he's a commercial realtor. And so I remember him telling me about taxes. He's like, even tax experts don't understand taxes. So, like it's gonna be more on why why taxes exist and how the Roman Empire used it to increase and also create the downfall of, keeping every little thing detailed and like accounted for, and also um how they are supposed to be used versus how they are used, and the best way for it to be used in terms of the people. That's that's your little little preview of what's going to be about.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Alrighty, brother. Well then, I hope your week goes well. Hope it
Dude,
all
yours
works
too,
out.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
um
Got a lot of shit
what
going on. So
when is Fury coming
Fury
out?
is May. I want to say May 3rd, May 4th, May 2nd.
But
One
it's
of
not in
them.
Texas, is it?
Yeah,
It is.
yeah. This one's gonna be here, like in my city. So we got a couple of
Okay.
local fighters that'll be in it.
Okay, awesome. I want to compete again. It's been a while. It's been
Yeah.
officially a year. The last time I competed was February
Mm.
of last year.
Got to get on it, baby.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna
Yeah.
suck.
Oh, he says, when are you gonna start publishing comics? By read that nose guy. I would totally do it if I knew how, bro.
Dude, just
I
do the
don't draw
AI
too
stuff on
well and I don't
YouTube.
have time, but I have a bunch of stories, dude.
Dude, just send it to one of those AI YouTubers and have him like adapt it on AI.
You got to pay those guys. I feel bad because I don't got the money to pay those guys right now. You know what I mean? Like it's
I
it
pay
takes
them from
money
the
to do this shit.
residuals. Like make a deal that like whatever revenue you get to keep 70%, I get 30.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
Something like
AI
that.
is free, but
I
I'm
know.
retarded, so I can't do
Yeah, I'm in the same
AI.
boat, dude. Like, I only know how to punch and kick and choke people. I don't know how to do other shit, dude. That's all I know how to do.
I know we were talking crap on Gordon Ryan before, but he did put a good post when the whole AI thing was like being talked about. He's like, learn how to kick the living crap out of people. That's something AI can never
Yeah, I
replace.
can never do unless it gets into the robots like those
Yeah.
Chinese ones. You ever see the Chinese robots? Did you see that one where they're doing
Oh,
like fucking kung fu?
dude, I did see that. I don't know if that's AI or whatever,
No, it
but
was a fucking event. It was like a real thing.
I will tell you this: when I was in Korea, like there's robots at the airport, like just greeting you, helping you where terminal to go. You can ask it any questions. Crazy,
You fucking hack it and you get it to flip everybody off, dude.
dude.
While they're walking by,
I,
just shows them the finger.
who are you talking to? I'm gonna hack a robot.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just telling you, it'd be really funny if you fucking hack one of them. They're in the airport. All of a sudden, like, the robot just goes by and just flips you off. You're like, whoa, what the fuck, asshole?
All the Korean goes, oh.
Oh,
Dude, they do that
so
so much. They're like,
realistic.
oh, dude. Before we go, I have a quick story. Can I tell the story?
Yeah, of course.
Uh, I was in when my like 6, 7 years ago, I got to go to Hawaii for the first time.
Nice.
My wife's sister was graduating, right? So her family went to Hawaii, and in Korea, like there's like literally no obese people other than like sumos. Like now it's starting to happen a little bit, but not as big as America, and it's definitely not as big as Hawaii. Like in Korea, like news reporters will be called out, and they'll go up and interview, yeah, some fat bastard, right? And there was this lady. We were I was in the car. The graduating ceremony was done, and I was with her stepdad and his two sons, right? And all the girls were like doing whatever. So I'm in the car. We see this minivan pull up right in front of us. Like not right in front, like a little distance away, but it's in front of us. We saw it wobble a little bit. The door opened, and the whole car like really leaned on the curb.
Oh shit.
Huge, huge lady. Dude, one of the biggest women I've ever seen. Had to be over 400 or 500 pounds.
Damn.
She walks up to like there's this white fence, leans on it. The whole fence leans. Dude, the my like my what step in-law's eyes, like you would have thought he was American of how wide open his
That's
eyes were.
funny.
And dude, he pointed, and all of them started pointing, and all of them were like, oh, oh, and I like start smacking their hands like, guys, freaking, we're in public, like relax. And then he turns to me, and he only speaks Korean. Son's translated. He's like, they thought this was only like a movie CGI thing.
Mhm.
Like they didn't think fat people that size existed. And it was like the second or third day we were in Hawaii, and they
Shit.
were just like they just kept looking at every corner. They're like, who the freak is around here, dude? And it was really really like I couldn't stop laughing, but I was like, guys, like put your hand down. We can't do this.
That's funny. No,
It
that's
was really
crazy, man.
funny.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Alrighty, brother. Well, I'm gonna get off. It should be like fucking 12 something for you already, no?
It is 12:32.
Yes, sir. That's about it. All right. Well, Relic, I hope you have a good one. To anybody that's still out there with us, thank you guys for staying with us. It's like 3 hours. Dude, we did fucking fantastic today.
Oh,
So
that was awesome.
dope. To all you out there, thank you guys so much. To all our extraordinary listeners, we appreciate every one of you. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys again here next Sunday on the Average Boost Podcast. Laters. Peace.
So.